our specific disciplines. Once the trees are felled, extracted and transported to our facilities, we measure, mark and then cut the wood into sized blocks. We then peel the blocks ready for competition. After careful selection, the blocks then leave our yard and are distributed internationally to our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS competitions.
Mid-charging and Shane Jordan battling hard on the standing block. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? Oh my God, how close is this? And it's Australia!
The atmosphere last night and the team's relay was unreal.
That is their title of Team World Champion 2 years in a row.
Oh, definitely. It'd be the noisiest crowd I've competed against.
Shane Jordan's already over there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
The crowds here, they were just erupting.
You feel the energy of the crowd.
My goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1.
The crowd was absolutely electric.
And it was so much noise and support.
Ja, doch, das pusht schon rum und mein Fanclub ist auch da.
Very passionate about their country and, yeah, the competitors.
Yeah, it feels super.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
It's pretty awesome to compete in front of a crowd like this.
But he's not giving up. He's looking good.
Like such an adrenaline rush. It's an amazing feeling.
They make a lot of noise, and that's good for our spirit. It's going to be the Czech Republic, and the crowd goes bananas. It's absolutely extreme here. Man hört's.
Cordless power by STIHL, only from approved STIHL dealers.
Welcome to the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Rookie International World Championship.
Right away, he gets in there with 2 nice, big, accurate strikes on that one side. That was a blistering set of heats from these 2 guys. Unbelievable.
We're going to go to the next part God, 4 strokes. Holy moly! Szymon Groenwaldowie has broken the world record here in Austria. Fantastic stuff. Wow.
Also Timbersport ist einfach ein supergeiler Sport, den ich sehr, sehr gerne mache. Welcome to the STIHL Timbersports World Championships 2022. Coming to you live here from the Partille Arena in beautiful Gothenburg, Sweden. My name is Matt Beadle and I am your host for this evening. It's an absolute joy to have you with us. Thank you for stopping by. This is a special night. It's all about the number 4. 4 is the magic number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are how many people will be standing on top of the podium, on the winners' podium, when we look at the winners in about 2.5, 3 hours.
Ungefähr, around about.
Something like that. It is a wonderful evening today because it's all about team. These are the Team World Championships, and you are very welcome. I am also part of a team. I'm part of a commentary team. I'm joined, as ever, by the legend of timber sports, you might say. Some people call him the voice of timber sports. It's a joy to be working with you again, Troy Mannering.
Thank you very much. As always, a pleasure, Matt. I mean, what can I tell you? This event is now become part of my deoxyribonucleic acid, my DNA. It's absolutely fantastic.
It really is.
I cannot believe we're here once again. And the best part is we're all together in the arena. It's packed. It's going to be fun. We've got the athletes ready to go. We've got the team competition tonight. The excitement is mounting out there and in here for us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a fantastic evening. We will explain how the whole format works as we go along. And if you're new to timber sports, don't worry, you will pick it up very quickly because it is just pure adrenaline, pure fun. I mentioned the word team.
Yes.
You'll hear the two of us and you'll see the two of us here in the studio. We're just outside of the Partille Arena, but we've also got a couple of colleagues in the Partille Arena. You might hear their voices and you will certainly see them as the evening progresses. We've got our local Swedish colleague in warming up the audience, those kinds of things. To a big shout out to him, Axlo, that is Anders Axlo in the arena talking to the Swedish guests. And we've also got our English-speaking and German-speaking
multi-talent
man of the moment, man on the spot, our roving reporter. What we're going to do is we're going to dive over into the stream in the arena, and we will sort of pass over to the master of ceremonies, certainly for the movers and shakers, and of course to get to know the athletes at the beginning. So let's jump into the arena and see how Florty is getting on.
Zealand is in the house. Not bad, not a lot of people, but a lot of noise. And of course, where are you from, guys? I can see some sweet... Oh, Italy! Italy, of course, let's not forget... Very nice. Norway! What about Denmark? For the very first time in history, we have a woman competing. How about that? And having heard that, it is time to meet our officials. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our Global Sports Director, Mr. Spike Milton. And the man right behind him is our Assistant Global Sports Director. Make some noise for Nathan Waterfield. Here are on-stage judges, Make some noise for Dr. Rich Hallett and the one and only Mr. Andrew Hall. And of course, in STIHL Timbersports, being the original extreme sport, we are very, very modern. We have two video judges, and that's Jules Janssen and Rado Katsaku. You can see him up on the big screen. Give him a shout, come on. They are doing a fantastic job, and they are the ones to make sure that this sport is decided very, very correctly. So one more time, put your hands together for officials at the STIHL Timbersports 2022 Team World Championship. So Partilla Arena, are you ready for the 20 teams? Let me ask you again, are you ready for the 20 teams? Let's get them on stage. And we're going to start with the team of Austria. Here they come. Led in by Armin Kugler, the captain and the national champion from 2022. Stefan Penke, Hermann Heiligenbrunner, Lukas Wagesreiter, and Günther Dallinger. Red, white, red, the team of Austria. Our next team, that is Belgium, led in by the national champion 2022, Koen Martens. The captain of the team, Robin Cuvelier. We also have Arnaud Goudsmet, François Lambretz, Cédric Fémonville, and Camille van Rendonk. Team Canada on their way into the arena, led in by Marcel Louis, the national champion from 2022. Ben Cumberland, the rookie world champion 2016. Geoff Larkin, and the captain, Nick Russell. Please welcome the Czech Republic, the national champion leading them in, Martin Rusal. We also have Martin Madeira, Matthias Klima, the rookie European champion from 2021, Martin Kalina, Zdenek Marash, and Ivan Babushka. Denmark is the next team. We have Alexia Blanc, the first female athlete ever to compete in the Timbersports Team World Championship. Esben Pedersen, Bo Andersen, Jesper Sjödahl Andersen, the captain, and Thomas Nichols, Team Denmark. Sixth team, that is France, ladies and gents. Pierre Cuveret, the captain and the national champion 2022. Jean Moore, Cyril Marchal, Elie Paguin, and Loic Vincent. Here comes Team GB, Great Britain, Glenn Pendleton, the national champion of 2022, Jack Morris, John Lewis, Tom Redmond, Graham Turner, and Terry Hoff. Make some noise for Team GB. Und jetzt darf es hier nochmal laut werden. Wir freuen uns auf Team Germany. Peter Bauer, the captain. Danny Martin, the national champion of 2022. Marcel Steinkemper, Christoph Lang, Danny Vielwert und Team Anthofer, Team Germany. And here comes Hungary. Benji Struby, the captain and national champion of 2022. Istvan Juhas, Josef Strubel, and Ferenc Hambushi. As we proceed to the team of Ireland, with the captain, Seamus Ryan, we've got Gavin Thompson, Derek Locher, and Patrick Fitzpatrick. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Italy in the house. Michel Nepin, the captain and national champion of 2022. Andrea Rossi, Michel Perin, Alessandro Chiappioni, and Riccardo Ambrosini. Here come the Oranjes, the Netherlands. Red Merknol, the national champion of 2022. Edwin Dost, Mike Brekman, and the captain, Martin Harms. Norway coming to the stage. Vebjørn Stensteby, the national champion of 22. Ole Magnus Julberg. Ole Ivar Lierhagen, the captain. And of course, Bart Gevers. Make some noise for Norway. And all the way from New Zealand, here are Jason Wynyard, the national champion of 22, the 9 times individual world champion. Shane Jordan, the captain. Nathan McDonald, Adam Lowe, Jack Jordan, and Morgan Bolstad. 4 times team world champions, 3 times team world silver medalists. Poland already approaching the stage. Arkadiusz Drozdek, the captain and national champion of 22. Michał Dubicki, Krystian Kaczmarek, Marcin Darga, Szymon Groenwaldowie, and Jacek Groenewald. Team Poland. And here comes Romania, led by the captain, Beton Nagy, Lionel Martininha, Sebastian Olici, Karol Palfi, and Josef Balog. I've seen a lot of Swiss fans in the house. Well, here is your team. Here is Christoph Geisler, the captain and national champion of 22. Oliver Reinhardt, Pirmin Gnedinger, Severin Bühler, Schonesch, and David Knecht. Another dangerous team entering the arena. The team of the United States of America, 4-time silver medalist, 5-time bronze medalist. Matthew Kogar, the captain and national champion of 22. Matthew Slingerland, Jason Lentz, and Nathaniel Hodges. And I hope you have been counting. 18 teams are already on stage. And now we want to show you the team to beat, the reigning champions. They've won 2 times in a row and they want to make it 3 here in Gothenburg. Please take a look at the big screens.
We've got to get the win, that's the most important thing for Australia.
We have a new world record in Australia. World champion Team Australia.
The team to beat with the world record from 2018 in Liverpool, 45-10. Oh my God, how close is this? Headed to Australia, defending their title of Team World Champion. 2 years in a row. Team Australia to defend their title of Team World Champion. Damn, they were quick.
Here come the 6 times Team World Champions, the 3 times bronze medalists at Team World Championships, and the world record holders. Here comes the team of Australia! Brad Delosa, the captain and national champion of 22, the individual world champion of 2013. Jamie Head, Lawrence O'Toole, the individual world champion of 2018. Brent Meyer, the individual world champion of 2019. Glenn Gillam and Curtis Bubble Bennett. Ladies and gents, the team from down under, the team of Australia. So that means we have 19 teams on stage. I promised you guys 20 teams. Only 1 nation missing. If you want to know more about the home nation, well, check out the big screens. We're about to call in the hosts. comes the team of Sweden! Give it up for Emil Hansen, the national champion of 22. Make some noise for Ferry Swan, the rookie world champion of 2017. Put your hands together for Pontus Sky, the captain Kalle Svanling, Adam Björns, and of course last but not least, Edvin Karlsson. Very much looks like we are ready to start the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship 2022. But of course, a World Championship also needs the opening with an official anthem. So please welcome Swedish singer, actress, music producer, songwriter, and the wonderfully sparkling one and only on Friday a new single releasing, Ida Redig!
Jag hälsar dig världens land upp på jord. Din sol, din himmel, dina ängder gröna. Din sol, din himmel, dina ängder gröna. Du tronar på minnen från fornstora dag. Då ärat ditt namn flagg över jorden. Och jag vet att du är och du blir vad du var. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. Jag svär till dig, kärna, mitt älskade land. Din trohet till döden vill jag svära. Din rätt ska jag värna med håg och med hand. Din fana utan bragderik jag bära. Din fana utan bragderik jag bära. För dig ska jag kämpa, för hem och för här. För Sverige, den kära fosterjorden. Och jag byter dig mot allt i en värld. När jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. När jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. När jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. När jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden.
Ida Redig, ladies and gentlemen, releasing a new song on Friday, and Sweden, I have to say, your national anthem is just beautiful. And having said this, it's back to you, Matt and Troy. Enjoy. And that means we are sending out the teams to get ready for the first competition. And it is my great pleasure to welcome the man up on the
Pretty
spot.
marvellous. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Florty. Fantastic atmosphere there in the arena. We're going to see if we can't turn up the screw a little bit, because we're going to dive right into the competition. Check out this little clip to understand what you're going to be seeing this evening.
Team World Championship format. In the team competition, teams of 4 each have to compete in a 4-discipline relay. The order of the disciplines during the team heat is as follows. First up, stock saw, followed by underhand chop, then single buck, and finally standing block chop. Each discipline is executed by a separate team member, and the subsequent discipline can only be started after the previous discipline has been completed. The overall time for a team only counts after finishing the last discipline. Starting a discipline too early will result in a 15-second time penalty. The team competition demands the utmost concentration, endurance, and precision, and the teams have to plan their efforts strategically over the course of the rounds. First, they have to show their skills in a time trial. Only the top 12 teams from the time trial will make it directly to the round of 16. The remaining slower teams from the time trial are relegated to the last chance round. In this round, they need to complete one heat, and only the 4 fastest teams from the last chance round advance to the round of 16. The rest are eliminated from competition. In the round of 16, the knockout phase of the competition begins. Here, the fastest teams from the time trial will face the slower teams in reverse order. The teams now continue to compete in the knockout system through the quarterfinals and semifinals. The losers of the semifinals will fight for the bronze medal in the small final. After this, the top 2 teams will compete one more time to see who takes the Team World Championship title.
Okay, so don't worry if that seemed like quite a lot of information. We will give you the we'll give you the overview, and that is that there's only going to be one winner today, and they're going to work in teams of 4, and they're going to have to try and compete as best they can to stand on that podium. That's all you need to know. Okay, so let's get a check out of the heats that we've already seen, so that we can get a feel for where we are, because there was qualification this afternoon, and let's take a look at that. Hopefully that can come up on the screen here. We can get a summary of... Okay, the graphic is yet to be ready. Okay, what we can tell you is that that there were enough... Yeah, we can't see the graphic, unfortunately. I'm being told that you can see the graphic, but I can't, unfortunately. So we'll do that old school, and we'll say that there are 16 teams that will go through to the last 16, obviously. Correct. There are 20 teams in total, but 8 of them have the chance, after the qualifying where they didn't quite bring what they wanted to bring this afternoon, they're going to have a so-called last chance. And that'll be in 4 last chance heats, and that's how we're going to kick off today. So we're going to see Austria versus Netherlands, we're going to see Hungary, Denmark, Czech Republic and Ireland, and Belgium and Italy, and they will be competing for the final 4 spots, making up 16, which is currently 12. I'm reassured that you can see that graphic. Unfortunately, we can't see it here in the studio. Maybe it's the Swedish weather. I don't know. The important thing is that the performers and the athletes are ready to go. Have I forgotten anything, dear?
I don't think so. I mean, we're fairly clear. In my opinion, we've got 8 teams that still have to race against each other. Let's not forget, though, these last 8 teams that are racing in this last chance qualifier are racing against the clock. You'll see 2 teams on stage, but they're not racing against each other. The elimination format happens first when we go to the round of 16, and all 16 teams are lined up in that next round. But first, we have to get through this last chance qualifier.
Okay, I can see on the screen behind me that the first 2 teams are entering the stage. We've got the Netherlands in orange and Austria in red. So remember, they are, although they're on stage together, they're not competing directly against each other. As Troy just said, it's all about the times. Okay, so we've got the Austrian team. That will be Kugler, Penker, Heiligenbrunner and Wagesreiter, and they are going up against the Netherlands, and that will be Knoll, Dorst, Bruggemann and Hahn.
Should be noted as well that many of the teams came with 5 to 6 athletes, only 4 are competing on stage. I did actually speak with Lukas Wagesreiter earlier on. He said that he probably would not compete here. It depends on how the energy level of the guys that are out there is doing. So at this point, I think that Lukas Wagesreiter will step to the side and allow Gunther Dahlinger to step on stage. And there we see the Netherlands side getting ready and doing the last-minute preparations up on stage for their heat. We'll see.
So, for those of you who haven't seen this format before, this is the team format. As you can see, each team's got 4 competitors on stage. Once the first discipline is finished, and only once it is, can the next athlete then start. 4 disciplines in total. The stock saw, the underhand chop, the single buck, and then we wrap up with the standing block chop. Here we go. This is Austria versus the Netherlands in the first of the last chances.
All right, it's a bit of a slow start for both of these teams here as we get underway on that stock saw. The Netherlands looking like they're having that first clean cut, but it's in fact Austria that drops that cookie first. And moving over to the underhand chop where we see in orange Redmer Knoll for the Netherlands digging deep on that first side, and he's the first one to switch over to the other side. Remember, this is not a head-to-head competition about who wins and moves on, it's about the time. So really, they are battling against their own headspace, against the clock, and the adrenaline push from the guys on the other side of the stage. And just waiting for, ooh, that could mean some trouble for the Netherlands if they're not careful with a little bit of an early pull there on that single buck. And Austria is really Austria is really struggling to get through the second side of that underhand chop. Netherlands on that single buck looking solid right now at the moment, coming towards the bottom of their cut, and they'll move over to Martin Harms on standing block chop. He gets going on the first side of his block, some nice big chips coming out. Heiligebrunner gets through on the single buck for Austria, and now leaves it up to Armin Kugler, the Austrian champion. And there you see Martin Harms and Armin Kugler, two absolute legends in the sport, going at it on the standing block chop. Armin Kugler doing his best to catch up to Martin Harms, and he might well do it. Armin Kugler doing a great job to try and get his time for the team. It's going to be close here between these two. He's going to drop the block. Yes. It's going to be Armin Kugler with a fantastic come from behind. Martin Harms struggling to get through that block. Two more drivers should do it, one more, and the block is down. Let's take a look at the time there for Austria, 1:36.31, and the time for the Netherlands, 1:44.08. What a massive comeback, but we do have a yellow flag on the play.
We have a flag on the play. That means there might have been a discrepancy. There might have been a timing issue. There might have been some kind of breach of the rules. We are under review, so we will find out what the result of that is. Wow,
I have a feeling,
what a comeback there from Armin.
That was a fantastic comeback from Austria, and I have a feeling that it's because of that small movement on the single buck. Let's see what Rich Hallett has to say here.
All right, gentlemen, we have a flag on stand B, false start on the single buck, penalty assessed. Your cut was good.
And there is the confirmation from the judge, Dr. Rich Hallett. The Netherlands there will be imposed that penalty, which will significantly put their time back. But again, I mean, what a comeback from Austria. That was
unbelievable comeback from Austria. That was a fantastic effort as we take a look at the slow-mo replay here. And I was actually quite surprised. It was a bit of a slow start on the stock saw for both of these teams. And you can see right there that on the Austrian side, the underhand chop just keeps getting stuck in that block. And there's Redmer Knoll with a beautiful final cut. Now, this was the massive advantage here for the Netherlands as they got over, I'm going to say, a good 3 to 5 seconds ahead of Austria on that single buck. But then you put Heiligebrunner, the big Austrian, to work on that single buck. He works that saw so quickly back and forth. He managed to catch up and do a little bit of work for his team to get them back in the mix. And then that gave this man in the red right there, Armin Kugler, a chance to come from behind. And that is just absolutely fantastic. And Martin Harms on the other side doing his best, but just was not quite strong enough today. And then, of course, the 15-second penalty assessment that they got for a bit of an early start on the single buck, and that means their time drops significantly. So the Netherlands now with a time of 1:58.76 officially, and Austria at the moment has the fastest time in this last chance qualifier for the moment.
Well, that's it. I mean, 1:58 is looking pretty tough at the moment. I don't think that'll be good enough for the Netherlands, and most of it goes down to that 22 seconds, as you mentioned. I mean, the tough thing there is that the skill was all there, the technique was all there, but because you're just so desperate, you jump the gun a little bit too soon, and it's the deciding factor. All right. An absolute humdinger of a first heat to get us going today. Let's see if heat 2 is as good. We are going to see Hungary going up against Denmark. Okay.
So personal best for Hungary is 1:10.71, and the big thing about Denmark is the addition of the first female athlete
Yes.
And that is absolutely fantastic.
Felixia Blank is the first woman ever to compete in the Team World Championships here at Timbersport, so it's quite a moment. And she and the team did relatively, or was doing relatively well this morning in qualifiers until unfortunately they had a bit of an issue and they got a DQ.
Yeah.
But she certainly managed to beat her direct opponent in her discipline this morning. So let's see how she goes this evening. We've got Hungary, which is Strubel, Johan, the other Strubel brother, and Hamvazi going up against the Danes. That's Bank, Pedersen, Anderson, and the other Anderson brothers. This is a family affair. It's Hungary versus Denmark.
And what we can say is Felixia Bank has an expertise with that stock saw that a lot of people, even the men, don't have. She works with them on a daily basis. She collects classic stock saws as well. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll see that she's always showing off her various saws. And here we go.
Your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Very nice start by Felixia Bank. It was a good start as well. On the other side, the Hungarian team looking quite good. But it's Felixia Bank with a great cut there and giving the opportunity for the underhand chop as the teams get going pretty much evenly. Big, heavy drivers coming from on high for both of these teams. We're going to see faster head movements on those axes later on as the more experienced teams get going. But it's Hungary over to the other side of their block first. And at the moment, Hungary slapping out some really big chips from that block. And finally, Denmark moving over to the other side. Right now, the time to beat, 1:36.04, remembering that only the 4 fastest teams from this last chance qualifier will move on to the round of 16. Hungary already on to their single buck. Look at the speed that he's moving that saw. He's going quick.
Wonderful.
There's different styles that these athletes use. Some guys use the entire length of the saw in long, heavy strokes. And now Denmark onto their standing block chop, looking very good here. They may well have a decent time if he can get through this block quickly, just passing the 110 mark. Remember, 1:36.04, the time to beat set by Austria at the moment. Denmark finally moving on to the single buck, but they are well and truly behind, and they need to get done in under 2 minutes. Otherwise, it will be a timeout DQ. Hungary, 1:28.21. That's
comfortably good enough to get into the last 16.
Yes,
Very
that's 1:28.21 is the fastest time thus far. So they and Austria at the moment in those top 2 positions as Denmark nears the 1:45 mark and passes it. Struggling right now. So really, really having a lot of trouble. But this is the experience that Denmark will gain over the next years. They are new to this format. They have participated before, but they need to gain that experience, and that is a DQ for time exceeded for Denmark. That is unfortunate. And yeah, I mean, he's not going to risk his axe anymore by continuing to cut through that block. You know he wanted to, but he's just not going to take that risk of damaging the axe head.
There is an investigation. We're under review again. I believe, I'm assuming that's down to the time breach. We will find out in a moment. We're just going to hear from the head judge here, Dr. Rich Hallett.
Okay, stand B, DQ, exceeded time limit. Stand A, your cut was good.
There it is. There's the confirmation from the judge. Unfortunately, the time was exceeded from Denmark, but Hungary, with a time of 1:27.9, have put themselves in good stead. That might be good enough for the last 16. Again, we saw that this morning with in qualifying with Denmark. They started off quite well, you know, with the first the stock saw, sorry. When it went over to the underhand chop, that's where it got slowed down.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you know, it's difficult for these guys because they got to really battle their way through each of these cuts, and you can see in the slow-mos here, it's a very, very moist block there. Hungary managed to get through nice and clean, and here you can see the start for the single buck for Denmark was a bit choppy. No pun intended there, as the saw got a little bit stuck on the start. And once that happened, it's really, really difficult. I mean, it's a 2-meter-long cross-cut saw with 10-centimeter-long teeth. When those things get stuck, it's hard to start it again. So it's a difficult discipline, and you got to be really
Well, Matt
honest.
and Troy, I'm standing next to Felixia, a woman who has just written history. Looks like the crowd loves it. How much did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed it so much, I can't even say.
And then when your cookie dropped first at the stock store, I heard some screaming that I have not heard very often before. Did that give you goosebumps?
Yeah.
It felt you were very focused on the team. Obviously, it didn't work out perfect, guys, today because you got the DQ, but the experience here in Partille Arena, just give us a few thoughts on that.
It's just been amazing to be here, and I'm so proud to be able to stand here for all the ladies in the sport and also to represent Denmark.
What more can you say? Representing Denmark, having this wonderful lady standing next to them, I think we should give them a big, big cheer. Team Denmark, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you don't see that very often in the sport where the men and the women are mixed up like that. And Felixia obviously showing that she has the skills to pay the bills. Let's face it. And as we take a look at the last chance lineup for now, Hungary ahead by just a hair with Austria in second place, the Netherlands and Denmark plus 30 seconds off the mark, in Denmark obviously with that DQ, so that's going to be troublesome for them. But we still do have 2 more heats to go, which could determine things completely differently with 4 fairly strong teams coming up onto the stage, the Czech Republic, Ireland, Italy and Belgium.
It really could. So we're going to move over to Heat 3 of the last chances. That is the Czech Republic going up against Ireland. Ireland, of course, in the green, and the Czech Republic, what would they otherwise wear? In the white. Here we can see the 2 teams. Good personal best here from Czech Republic, a strong team. We saw in the clip leading in. They've got pedigree in this event, certainly from the last World Championships. Ireland could be a bit of an outsider maybe, but judging by their personal best, they're really going to have to pull it out the bag to get on the board today.
Well, it's a bit surprising, quite honestly, to see the Czech Republic in this particular position, because back in 2009, they actually eliminated the Austrian team in a surprise come-from-behind win that absolutely had the Czech audience going bananas. And I mean, if you saw the clip from earlier on, you heard me say, the audience went bananas. Well, it's really true. And I mean, so that was a feel-good moment for the Czech Republic. And here, they'll be thinking about that right away to try and get that kind of vibe back for them, because they're definitely stronger than what they showed off earlier on in the qualifying round. And it's surprising, like I said, for them to be here in this last chance qualifier. Ireland, on the other hand, they've been working at it. They're a strong team. They've got some great talents there. It just takes a little bit of gel to get things going together. Seamus Ryan there getting his stock or his single buck set and ready to go. And we are going to see how they hold up against a very strong Czech team here.
Here we go. This is last chance, Heat 3. This is the Czech Republic against Ireland.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, nice even start by both of those teams. Czech Republic looking like they've got a nice clean cut. Ireland right there with them. Let's see who drops the cookie first. Whoa, it's dead even as they head to the underhand chop. Look at that, they're in sync on the first side. A little stick by Ireland, and it mixes it up and then back into sync with each other. Absolutely fantastic. It's the Czech Republic, however. There's Martin Roussel moving over to the other side of his block. And now joining him on the other side, about 3-4 strokes behind, is our team member from Ireland, and Martin Roussel looking very good as he's trying to dig and dig and dig. Let's see who starts on that single block first. It's going to be the Czech Republic as they're still struggling to get through the second side of that block. And on the Martin Kalina on that single block, and there you see Seamus Ryan really putting it all in. Really pushing off that back foot as best he can, but the Czech Republic has already moved over to the standing block chop with a massive advantage here, coming over to the other side of their block, and now, there's a little tongue left on that Irish block. That means he had to go back, cut it off, make sure it was fair before they could start on that standing block chop. A little bit of clearance for Ireland there, but it's the Czech Republic, and 1:21.21 Fastest time so far, so the Czech Republic is definitely in good stand here at the moment with Austria and Hungary. Those four guys would go on to, or those three teams definitely would go on, barring any major changes in the other team's status. And Ireland really struggling here. As you get tired, the axe angle changes a little bit. You go in too flat, and you're just bouncing the axe out. You're not cutting clean on an angle, and that's what's happening here for Ireland. And if they hit that 2-minute mark, which they will not, so that's great.
Wonderful
They
stuff.
are 32 seconds off pace, but they did not get a DQ because of time exceeded, so that's very good for Ireland. And these things will start to improve, as I said, when the teams gel a little bit and when they start to find their pace in this particular format.
Exactly. Wonderful achievement for Ireland, getting on the scoreboard with a time. Great time as well for the Czech Republic. 1:20.96 has been corrected down a little bit. That will definitely be enough to make it through to the last 16. Wow, what a heat that was. I mean, there was power, there was speed, there was everything there.
Yeah, that was a nice heat. Let's see what Rich Allen has to say.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
I like the way that Rich does that sometimes. Before he even says the cuts are good, he tells us it was a nice job, so we can get a feel for how this is going to go. The light show gives us the message as well that was a good show. Both got a time, qualify. Let's check out the slow-mos here. I mean, what always gets me with this sport is not only the physical prowess, because this is an incredibly physical sport, and I think people underestimate this, but what fascinates me is the mental focus. Look at the focus on the athletes' faces as they go through the disciplines there.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of dangerous equipment out there, whether it be the Stihl MS661 stock saw or one of these competition axes that are sharper as a razor. You can actually shave with them. We have one here in studio. Or, you know, the single buck. I'm guessing you could say probably the single buck is the safest tool they have out there because it sits in the block, but anything can happen, you know. So you have to be absolutely focused. You have to have that endurance. You have to have that strength. And it always amazes me how these guys make it look so easy on stage. And even when the battles are really hard, these guys are just absolutely fantastic athletes.
Look at the
power right there.
He's taking that with him. He's taking a souvenir with him. Yeah. That was the moment, Mum, when I got my team into the last 16. Great job from the Czech Republic. They will be there. Who will join them? At the moment, it's going to be Hungary, Austria, and Ireland. The Netherlands and the Danes, unfortunately, won't be there. But we've got one more heat to come. So Ireland will be looking over their shoulders. Okay. Have you been surprised by any team so far this evening?
Actually, I was quite surprised to see the Czech Republic in this last chance qualifier. Not overly surprised by what we're seeing here, but we may be surprised by what we see later on. I was surprised that Sweden was as slow as they were in the qualifying round earlier, but they were quick enough to make it to the round of 16 directly. And now it comes down to these two teams that are coming up on the stage. Italy is another surprise for me, along with Belgium being in this last chance qualifier, because both of these teams definitely show better experience. As you can see from their times, they're very close to each other in their personal best as a team.
This indeed is going to be very interesting. If they get anywhere close to their personal bests, these two teams, they should make it onto the board. The target time at the moment is anything under 1:53, so we're going to have a look whether they're going to be able to make it. We'll take a look down the teams here. Italy will be represented by Delpin, Rossi, Perran, and Chiapponi, and the Belgians will lead off with the legend Koen Martens, supported by Cuvelier, Goudschmet, and Lambrecht. Just making the last minute preparations here. It's as big as that thing is, it's 2 meters long, but you want to start off with millimeter accuracy, otherwise it's going to affect all of your flows.
Absolutely, and you know, these once these saws get started, you really have to keep it flowing and keep that thing moving on the single buck. But this is about making sure that you've got team cohesion so that the other team members know when you're finished your discipline, he can start the next discipline. So, yeah.
So we've got Italy on the left in blue, and we've got Belgium on the red with that sort of almost parrot feather uniform that they're wearing there. Very colourful.
Athletes ready.
Let's
Stand
see
to your
how it
timber.
goes in heat 4.
3, 2, 1, go!
dead even start on stock saw for both Belgium and Italy here. This is about knowing your equipment and not pushing too hard. And now we are dead even over onto the underhand chop. Looking at Koen Martens there going up against Michi Delpine. And Koen Martens is first over to the other side, about 4 strokes, maybe 3.5 strokes behind is Delpine from Italy as he gets over there and starts slabbing out some big chips there. But it's going to be about who gets through here first to get that single buck going. And it looks like it's going to be Koen Martens. Single buck is now underway for Belgium. Michi Delpine still trying to get done, and now he is done. It goes over to Michi Perrin, who just jumped out of the rookie ranks, and he is looking very good on that single buck. But Belgium at the moment
dominated
with about a 3-stroke advantage heading to the standing block. Andrea Rossi, excuse me, was on the underhand chop. Michi Delpine now on standing block. And Belgium and Italy moving over to the other side. Oh, it's going to be close here. A bit of a stick there for Belgium, and Italy working hard to try and catch up, and they're really pushing each other here, just passing their personal best at the moment, but they're real close. And a fantastic comeback from Italy, fastest time so far. And now it's about Belgium trying to keep it under 130. Can they do it? Let's see if they manage to stop the clock.
1:36 is the target time.
Can they do it? Oh, he's struggling so badly on the backside of that log. So much material to still get through. One more driver. And there he's finally got it down in 142.95. That is unfortunate for Belgium. And that means we will probably not see them in the round of 16.
What a heat. Fantastic. You know what really jumped out at me there? I mean, the Italians, speed, there was fluency, it felt like there was communication between the team, but I mentioned the, almost the parrot uniforms that Belgium are wearing there. You know, the stance that they took, particularly Cuvelier, it was almost like he had parrot feet, you know, there was flexibility, he was able to adjust. Great speed there on the underhand shot, really impressive. So we are waiting for the results. The applause gives us the feeling that...
Okay, nice job. Both cuts are good.
There it is. It is an underhand shot. Was successful. Very nice. Beautiful. We're going to go over to the arena now to see if Floorty can get an interview with the Belgians. Floorty, over to you.
We'll take a quick look at the slow-mos first.
Why don't we take a look at the slow-mos
under the bus
instead?
one more time. Here we go. So there's a nice thin-to-win cookie you could see from Belgium. That was a nice starting cut, and actually both the Italian and the Belgian cookies dropped pretty much at the same time. You can see here a great battle there between Andrea Rossi and Koen Martens on the underhand chop, but it was Koen Martens who actually went over to the other side of that underhand chop about 3 strokes ahead of Andrea Rossi. And then he broke through that block to start the single buck about, let's say 3 strokes ahead. And that stayed the same way. Belgium was very, very strong up until this point, and then it went over to the standing block chop, and a couple of sticks by the Belgians on the standing block chop. You can see there, Michi Perrin trying his hardest to get through that and drop that cookie. He does, and already the Belgians were working it, but right here, what a fantastic effort there by the Italian side. Schiapponi, I think that's Schiapponi. I'm going to get a slap in the head if it's not. And they've done a great job there, and they got a fantastic time. And the fans are loving it up there in the stands. So great job by Italy to make it into the round of 16.
We have got the 16 teams. We're going to check out the round of 16 in just a moment. We're going to go over to Floorty
well, Matt and
in
Troy
the
just
arena
said on
for
live TV. It was an amazing heat. Koen, of course, you're not going to be too happy because, ladies and gentlemen, we have to say goodbye to Belgium. So please give them a big shout out. I think one of the nicest teams in history of STIHL TIMBERSPORTS. But Koen, something happened to this axe.
Yeah, we had a pretty solid run in the beginning of the day, and there were some pointers to work on. We discussed it with the team. We watched the videos again. Was a pretty solid run. Robin did a good job on the standing, but then he hit a knot like very bad, so you can see on the camera. So your axe is damaged, so you're dead in the wood, and then driving is very difficult. Otherwise, it would be even better. So we're happy. We will see. Thanks to the audience for all the cheering on, and see you next time for sure.
I don't know if you could see it, but that axe looks very, very damaged. I mean, I wouldn't want to go into the wood with that. Guys, knowing that this was your last appearance in the team competition, what do you want to say to your fans? And tell them to come back tomorrow for the individual World Championship.
Thanks for showing up. It's an amazing crowd again. So all the team cheering on from all of the world, all of Europe. So fan clubs, keep on doing the good work. Doesn't matter which country you are, just cheer them on and have a good time this night.
And I know who's having a great time. That's Matt and Troy. Back to you guys to the studio.
Florty, you're a legend. Thank you so much. Congratulations again to the Belgian team. Lovely comment there at the end, wasn't it? Whatever team you're supporting, just enjoy your evening. We are certainly doing that brilliantly. We've had a couple of little technical issues moving along. Apologies for that, but we promise we will tidy up as things progress here, because it's all about the competitors. These are the results you should be seeing here on your screen. This is how the last chance finished. Italy, Czech Republic, Hungary and Austria getting good enough times to make it through into the final 16. So we can confirm that Australia, New Zealand, the United States, Poland, Canada, Switzerland, France, Germany, Sweden, Great Britain, Norway, Romania, Austria, Hungary, Czech Republic and Italy will all be there. What do you think? What are your favourite standout heats in the round of 16 here?
What are my favorite standout heats? Well, the first one, for sure, Germany against Sweden. That's going to be a tough one. We saw that Sweden had a really rough run earlier on, with Ferry Swan particularly struggling through the underhand chop, where he's normally incredibly solid. Germany, however, has been looking really good today. So this could be a better battle than expected. And, of course, later on we're going to see Australia and Austria battling against each other. It's going to be fantastic. The heats are going to be madness. Let's get underway.
Go to the madness. We'll go back to the arena where we've got the first heat of the round of 16 coming up. And it is the big one. It's Germany versus the local Sweden. Listen to the Patilla Arena going absolutely crazy for their local heroes here. I can tell you, Troy, as the supercomputer published which two teams were in this draw this afternoon, our German commentator Guido Husken said to me, Germany, we've got no chance against Sweden today.
I don't know. I don't agree with him 100%, because if you look at the tail of the tape here, Germany has a better personal best time than Sweden. And that action that happened earlier on in the qualifiers with Sweden is going to be playing games in their head. So they're going to be really maybe a little bit tighter on their axes and saws than the Germans will, because the Germans really just have nothing to lose. They're going to go for it.
They are going to go for it. One of the best competitors, maybe two of the best competitors in the world at the moment, Svan and Hansson, both on the same team for Sweden today, but we can see him there up on the underhand chop, standing on top there, Ferry Svan. He had a bit of a sticker today, didn't he? So it'd be very interesting to see if he can bring the performance here. You can see him practicing with that swing there. We are going to see Germany, and they're represented by Peter Bauer, Danny Martin, Marcel Steinkamper and Denny Fielwert. They're going up against one of the favourites, maybe, Sweden, and they're represented by Hansson, Svan, Sky and Svardin.
It looks like Denny Fielwert has stepped into the position as the anchor. Will be cutting on the German side for the standing block chop, so he has got a bit of pressure on him. Peter Bauer will be taking care of that single buck.
Athletes ready.
And looks like Marcel Steinkemper is on board for the underhand chop. Here we go. Good cut for both of those teams, moving straight over. Here we go, Ferry Swan looking like his old self on that first side. Who's going to move over before? Let's see, Ferry Swan moves over. Oh, nice swing and a hit, but he got locked up there. Marcel Steinkemper working hard on his second side, about 1.5, 2 strokes behind Ferry Swan, and this is a big race for him. Let's see if he can do a good job. Oh, Ferry Swan had a good time getting through that underhand chop. Steinkemper right there, and it was a great start by by Kalle Swadling. as he gets that saw moving really nicely, and then over to Emil Hansen on the standing block chop, and it's going to be Danny Martin on standing block chop for Germany. I mistook his hat as the hat that normally is worn by Danny Fieldet, but Danny Martin doing a great job as he moves over to the other side to try and catch up to Emil Hansen, but this is going to be a good one for Emil Hansen with one more driver to do it, should do it. Oh, he's having trouble. He's had to change an axe because he's broken the handle, and he's got to pull the head out. It's a massive blow, and he's managed to do it anyway, and he has eliminated Germany with an unbelievable last effort. He broke the axe handle with the blade stuck in the block, and he had to get out, take a new axe, pull the head out of the block. Danny Martin said the same thing, damaged his axe on the block. What an unbelievably crazy heat to start the elimination round. Fantastic action out on stage.
That is why we watch Timbersports. Scenes here in Sweden. Absolute scenes. I mean, Ferry Svan's performance, first of all, absolutely flew through the underhand chop like it wasn't there.
That was the comeback performance for Ferry Svan, absolutely.
That was remarkable. We saw the German athlete there at the end showing his axe to the camera. That's the third broken axe already today. We've only been on for about half an hour.
That was a massive chip. That was a massive chip out of the blade of his axe. You could see at the bottom, and there's the broken handle from Emil Hansen. But what absolute concentration on the part of Emil Hansen.
Brilliant
he saw the axe broke, he went down immediately, got the other axe off the ground, pulled the axe head out of the block, and he only needed one driver to get that thing done. Question is, I didn't see any flags on the play here, and Danny Martin's going to be really unhappy about that broken axe in that performance because, wow, they were looking great up until that point.
Look at the crowd, absolutely loving this. We're going to get the final confirmation here.
And the winner is Team Sweden.
It is the confirmation that Sweden beat Germany in the first heat of the round of 16 with a very strong time of 1:16.34. Even though, as you said, the axe broke in the middle of
unbelievable,
really unbelievable. Talk us through that. I noticed when he went for the second axe, the head cover was still on.
It has to be on.
Right, it has to be on because that stole him a couple of seconds as well, right?
Correct. So here we go in the slow-mo. We're looking back as Kalle Svadling keeping a close eye on the cut there of the stock saw, and then over to Emil Hansen. Now, this is the discipline that normally Emil Hansen is very, very good on, but here in the qualifying round, he struggled through it, but this time this was a comeback for him, absolutely. And on the German side, Marcel Steinkemper, so strong in this discipline, but he had a bit of a chunky log. Took him a while to get through there to finally allow their team, Peter Bauer over there, to get going on that single buck. And boy, look at the absolute power that he's throwing into those cuts. Here you see Kalle Svadling also absolutely driving that single buck, 2-meter long cross-cut saw through that block. And here you see this driver here should be the point where, oh no, where was it where the axe broke?
There it is.
Right there.
There it is.
So a little twist, the axe handle breaks. He's got to pull the rest of the axe out, and that's hard because there's not much leverage. And then right there you can see
it. Great shot there. You can see it there. Look at Ferry Svan in the background. The nerves on his face.
Very nervous. And just one driver was enough to do it, and the excitement of Ferry Svan. So he knows that Sweden has moved on to the next round, and he can't believe it as he goes over to hug Emil Hansen. And look at that big chunk. Those are expensive axes, and that is some damage that's going to need some serious work.
Disappointment on the faces of the German athletes there. It seems the wood was just, sometimes you get knots, sometimes you get parts of the wood that just don't want to go through. But wow, what a way to start the official proceedings of tonight, the first heat of the round of 16. Can Switzerland and Norway possibly live up to that in heat 2?
That's going to be a tough one. It's also going to be tough for our audience because both teams representing in red.
Yes, do not adjust your sets, dear viewers. They are two teams on stage, but they do happen to be wearing the same colours. We have got Switzerland, who will be represented by Christoph Geiser, Oliver Reinhardt, Pierman Gnedinger, and Severin Bühler, and they are going up against Ole Magnus Zuberin, Ole Ivar Leverhagen, Bart Gevers, and Zonsteby from Norway.
So Sully Bjerget will have the stock saw in hand. He is the current record holder for stock saw, world record holder. So they're going to depend on him to try and get through that cut as quickly as possible.
Warm up your saws.
You're also looking at a very experienced Swiss team with Pirmin Gnedinger on the single buck. There you see in the horned hat on the left-hand side, his wife.
Very clearly Norway fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Huh?
Athletes ready.
Stand
All right, here we go. Let's race.
timber.
Switzerland in the red on the left, Norway in the red on the right.
Very nice start by Switzerland.
Smooth, very smooth.
It's a bit of a quicker start on the underhand chop for Switzerland as Christoph Geisler gets working there. And it is Vebjørn Sundsteby for Norway. Onto the other side, Vebjørn Sundsteby does a little bit of catch-up, and he's about a half stroke ahead of Christoph Geisler. Coming through that second side, who's going to send it over to the single buck first? It looks like it might actually be Christoph Geisler. There's a lot of slough in the way on that Norwegian block as he's struggling to get through there. He's staying on one side as he sees a bit of a chance to get through, but it's just not working out for him. Pirmin Gnedinger already at the bottom of his cut and sends it over to the standing block chop. And Oliver Reinhardt, who just jumped out of the rookie ranks, and he is already looking like a seasoned pro out there as he is the anchor man for the Swiss team, doing a great job moving over to the other side of his block and leaving it up now to, I believe, Bart Gievers on the Norwegian side. Forgive me if I've mixed up some of those names there. But Ollie Reinhardt looking like he's going to get through there. 3-4 more drivers should do it for him, but they've moved over to the other side of their block on the Norwegian side. Remember, this is elimination. It's not about time. And he's coming close to doing it. Oh, my goodness.
There it is.
Out to left field for Oliver Reinhardt. He took a breath of relief there because he could see and feel that the Norwegians were really pushing hard to get through there. It came close.
Still the support, though. Still trying to power on their teams.
Yeah,
they go.
They've done it. They've gotten through. But unfortunately for Norway, that's an elimination round. They are done and dusted for the day. And we're going to see Switzerland moving on to the next round.
We're seeing here the judges just checking that everything was above board and that both teams qualify. We'll get the official announcements. Whoa, okay, not as dramatic in that we didn't break any tools in that round. But
can't always break tools, just for your satisfaction there, Matt. Sorry.
Very true, but good times nonetheless. Really good times. 128, 141 for Norway. We say goodbye to Norway, unfortunately, but
And the winner
Switzerland are
is
safely
Team Switzerland
in the quarterfinal. There's the announcement. Congratulations, Team Switzerland, who will join Sweden in the quarterfinals of the World Championships.
By the way, folks, if you're asking yourself, well, guys, this is a knockout round. It's a head-to-head. One wins and moves on, one loses and eliminated. Why are they still checking the times? Well, they keep a time count in case a world record might be broken. Now, at this point, they're coming nowhere even close to it because Australia holds a world record at 45:10, which is an absolutely blistering time. And I don't think we're going to see any times really get super close to 45. I think probably 50 to 55 is the fastest that we're going to see today. It's going to be a lot about choice of acts and just how determined you are to get through a couple of these blocks here. But it was a great effort by both of these teams. Unfortunately, Norway just wasn't quite there. And you could see Ollie Reinhardt. I could tell out of the corner of his eye, he saw that the Norwegian was on his side, and there was that breath of relief for him.
Look at that look. I love that look.
God, I'm the anchor. I didn't mess everything up. And there you can see Jolanda Gnedinger on the left-hand side. We do work together sometimes here as her husband on stage doing the single buck for Switzerland.
That's right. A fantastic heat 2. It's time for heat 3 in the round of 16. That is going to be your home country, Troy. Here come your athletes. Canada going up against Romania. Sweden and Switzerland have secured their place in the quarterfinals. Germany and Norway, sadly, will be going home. The fastest time so far this evening is 1:16. You were saying world record is at 45. I agree. That's unlikely to be broken today because that really was an unbelievable night.
Very fast time.
But we did see a couple of sub 1 minute times today in qualifying.
Yes.
So
and of course, those sub 1 minute times came from the countries Australia and New Zealand, which were expected to be favorites here anyway. I mean, Australia's got a massive target on their back. New Zealand's got some revenge to try and get through. But first of all, Australia and New Zealand both have to get past this round here.
Well, exactly, and they don't have the easiest of ties. Heat 8 will see New Zealand go up against Hungary, and we're going to see Australia in Heat 5, and they're going up against Austria, who also have a tidy team.
Yeah, and I mean, Hungary is going to be hungry for a win, especially against a team like New Zealand.
Oh, that's definitely the worst pun of... Yeah, that's two tonight. I think you've already met your limits, sir. Right, here they come, the athletes of Heat 3 in the round of 16. It is Canada, oh Canada, going up against Romania.
And you can see the definite difference in their tail of the tape times. Canada, 49.72. There we see Marcel Dupuis, three-time Canadian champion. He'll be representing Canada in the individual world championship tomorrow. He's in top shape at the moment, absolutely fit. He is one of those athletes that also has the experience that his composure plays such a role in how well he can chop. He'll be on the underhand chop today. There you see the Romanian side. Botan Nagy getting ready. We see him, I believe he is taking care of that stock saw.
That's right, it's going to be Romania represented by Nagy, Minanita, Ulici and Palfi. And they're going up against the Canadians, the legend of the sport, Dupuis. Ben Cumberland, also a great guy. He was chatting with us earlier, wasn't he, today? He and the team felt confident, certainly. We'll see if they can bring it. And the remaining two members of the Canadian team will be Larkin and Russell. It's Canada in red on the left, going up against Romania in blue on the right. This is Heat 3 of the round of 16.
I think there's been a bit of a shift in the positions there as well. I do believe that Ben Cumberland has moved over onto the standing block chop, and Nick Russell will be taking the duties on that stock saw.
1, go!
Very nice start. A little bit slow by Romania. That's not Botan Nagy. Sorry, it is Varanicha on that stock saw. Botan's driving as Marcel on the underhand chop here, looking very good, slapping out some nice pieces. I had that axe in my hand earlier on today, not Marcel's axe, but one of the competition axes. They are not light, and so the fact that these guys are moving them so quickly, so efficiently, and with so much power is just unbelievable to me. So Canada has already started on their single buck. That's a great effort there by Jeff Larkin, getting a bit of support from Nick Russell. Romania pushing hard to try and catch up. Time running as we move over to Ben Cumberland in a discipline that he is so well adept at as he moves over to the other side of his block. There's a fantastic picture of Ben Cumberland a few years ago as he fell going around the block, got back up, and still won the heat. Unbelievable. Oh, and Ben Cumberland's had to change axes as well. You can see a knot in his block right there, but no problems for Ben Cumberland as he gets through with the last two drivers after changing the axe, and there is that knot. Those are dastardly. That's a beast as well. 107.41 for Canada.
An ironic raise of the eyebrows there at the strength of this wood.
Yeah, I mean, these guys all have fair wood, let's be honest, but sometimes the wood just beats the axes, and Romania, a 134.61. They're going to log that time in, and they're going to have to be happy. And there we have Botan Nagy, the captain. Last-minute checks of his axe there, and the guys will move down to the results stage, but this time belongs to Canada. They'll be moving on to the quarterfinal.
A really good time, the best time so far this evening, 107.14 from Canada. Really setting the standard there. Romania will sadly be going home with a time of 134.24.
And the winner is Team Canada.
There's the confirmation. Canada, 107.14. How do you feel? Your boys did enough to get you through to the quarterfinals there?
They did enough. They've been silver medalists before in this discipline, so now they're moving their way through. They'll try and really they'll have discussions about what to do as they move on here into the next round to see how they're going to react to the wood conditions, if they're going to change their axes to chisel axes or if they're going to have the banana blade axes, because that's playing a major role at this point about how these axes react to the wood and how well they cut. But they also have to consider their fitness level and their endurance at this point as well, because every time they get tired and that axe starts to flatten out, it hits and it doesn't cut. It just bounces off or
Right.
blocks in. So
Right. Oh.
yeah, that's the thing they have to consider. And Nick Russell, by the way, this is his first time joining the team, or second time joining the team. It's Jeff that's the replacement for Nathan Cumberland. He's actually shown a lot of gumption out there. But this was a great battle between these two teams. Romania was a little bit overmatched here, but we said this in the quarterfinals. Romania did a great job against Hungary. Again, managed to get a good time, and that was the surprise for me of this competition thus far. And there you see the final drivers from Ben. Absolutely concentrated there as he puts every ounce of his effort in there for those last 2-3 drivers after he had to change his axe.
I hope you got a feel from that slow-mo there, from which is shot by our brilliant slow-mo camera operators, Wieland and Patrick, a feel for the power and the adrenaline that goes into every blow here. This is high-octane sport. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Talking of high-octane, you've just had your country competing, Canada.
Now it's your turn.
Now it's time. Please do excuse me if I don't sing the national anthem, but I'm delighted to be commentating today on Great Britain, who will go up in Heat 4 against their old enemy, France. Here they are. The Brits came round today and had a chat with us. They spent some time in the studio. Lovely guys. It was great to meet Glenn, Jack, Graham, and Terry. Very interesting story. They told us quite a powerful story as well.
Yeah.
That one of their team members, Bill Huaki, is sadly not with them today. He would have been there, but he's struggling with illness at the moment. He's battling against prostate cancer, and we wanted to give him a shout out to Bill and his family and wish him and them all the very best moving forward.
Absolutely. Bill Huaki is one of those guys where you look at and you go, wow, he is in fantastic shape. I saw him at the British Championships this year. He was up there with a pink mohawk, and he was still competing, and representing. He's a legend in British timber sports, and he's an absolute glue for this team. And unfortunately for them, he wasn't able to come to this event. So, like you say, we wish Bill and his family all the best. And Bill, don't give up. Keep fighting, my brother. We'll see you next time around in GB when you'll be racing again there, hopefully. And right now, France is going to be going up against the Great Britain team that's represented by Glenn Penlington, Jack Morris, John Lewis, Tom Redmond, Graham Turner, Terry Hoff. Like I said, there's like a bunch of names I just listed off there, but only 4 on stage. There you see Terry, good friend of Bill Huaki, got really emotional in an interview earlier on when we talked about him.
Yeah.
And so, he's going to be thinking about him. All the team members are going to be thinking about him. And this one will definitely be for Bill. They've got it in tough, though. It's a good team from Great Britain. There you see Graham getting ready on the underhand chop. We're going to see Glenn Penlington, who is the British champion representing for the individual tomorrow. He'll be on the standing block chop. We just saw Terry Hoff on the stock saw. On the French side, Pierre Curie-Barret will be their anchor, bringing up the last discipline in standing block chop. I don't see Loïc Poisson out there, but Guillaume Moore, I believe, is on the single buck.
Stand to your
Let's
timber.
see how this goes in this heat against a couple of rivals.
This could be a fascinating heat. Great Britain and France with almost identical times in the qualifications today.
Yeah, they were very close. Terry Hoff had a really good start there. A bit of a slower start for France as they are now waiting to get going and finally do. But Graham he needs to put on a little bit more muscle. That little fella doesn't have a lot of strength to move that axe. Just kidding, he's a big man. And he moves over to the other side. We've seen this has been a struggle for a lot of athletes, not just the guys that are on stage right now, but everybody's been having a lot of trouble getting through these underhand chops. This is a critical moment because this is where it sends it over to that single buck. And it's a nice cut through for France. Graham still trying to struggle through it. And there's Guillaume Moore on that single buck. Look at the amount of intensity he's going through with those cuts. Graham's finally through it. And now moving over for Great Britain on the single buck. Oh, it's a bit of a stick there. And it's going to be close coming down to the bottom of the list. And it is dead even standing into the standing block chop. Glenn going for it, getting in deep. He's got some battle, though. He's got to go against Pierre Puy-Barré. Puy-Barré is moving over to the other side. Glenn Pendleton, 2 strokes behind him as he moves over to the other side of the block. It's going to be close. Who's going to go? Is it going to be France or is it going to be Great Britain? It's going to be really close here. Pierre Puy-Barré is a big man. He's got power. Glenn Pendleton, super accurate with that.
They're both wobbling.
It's getting close. It's going to be close. Who's it going to be? Oh my goodness! How close was that? Great Britain by a hair! Hey, moly, Jesus, Murphy and Joseph, how does that get any better? What a fantastic heat! Ho, ho, ho! France is going to be upset with that as they came so close. A bit of a stick by Pierre Puy-Barré, but it was Glenn Pendleton with an absolute masterclass in that standing block chop to take it down. And Great Britain will be seen in the quarterfinal.
Yes, they will. An absolutely cracking time at 1:31.13 sees Great Britain possibly unexpectedly go through to the quarterfinal. France 1:39.90. Only a difference of 1.12 seconds. Extraordinary stuff.
Those were some horrendous times, quite honestly, but that was some action.
Who cares?
That was some action, and it is under review here on the French side. It looks like there is an incomplete cookie, so it could be a situation where France is anyway going to be eliminated, but let's see what our judges have to say.
What does that mean with the cookie there?
So when the cookie is cut, it has to be a complete cookie landing on the deck. So what's happened is France was a bit slow on the start of their stock saw, and it means that they didn't cut the clean cookie at the start, and it means an incomplete cookie could mean a DQ. Let's see.
And the winner is Great Britain.
There's the confirmation. Great Britain won it. There wasn't even an announcement about that cookie. It was irrelevant anyway. Great Britain with a faster time go through, but it's always great not to have those two awful letters, the D and the Q, next to you.
But the thing about the DQ is that time no longer counts. So for France, that time is going to get locked in. Points count for them on the scale. So you can see it was a beautiful start cut by Terry Hoff. He did a great job to get through there, nice and clean. He had a good start, and you could see Graham keeping a close eye on where that cookie was before he could get his cut going. And I mean, he struggled on that block. Let's not hold any bones about it. It was tough to get through there, but he did it. And he was actually a little bit slower getting through the block than the French side, but they did such a fantastic job. And as an anchor, I mean, Glenn just did such an amazing job on that standing block chop, and it was really by virtue of a full-on team effort from Great Britain and a little bit of luck at the end that Pierre Puy-Barré got that axe stuck in standing block chop that Glenn managed to get through here. But geez Louise, was that ever a battle?
It doesn't get much closer to that. At thousandths of seconds separated the two teams, and as you say, as we went into the final discipline, Puy-Barré was clearly ahead. And absolutely, look at the power going in there, the focus,
and there's that stick by Pierre Puy-Barré. That was the difference maker
but
right
it's
there.
Already wobbling. Just one more
driver.
hit.
One single driver was all it took, and that was
just
it, you know?
Driver.
And his axe getting stuck there, that was the difference maker. So what a fantastic effort. And that's been, for me, the most exciting heat all day long. I just couldn't hold myself back on that one. I was bouncing around like an idiot in the studio here. That was fun. That was a fun one.
You and me both, brother. The British are through. And you know what? That's a wonderful moment because they did that for Bill Huaki, I'm sure.
I'm sweating after that one. Woo!
No, it was fantastic. It really was fantastic. As we mentioned before, the member of the team, Bill, who isn't with us today, is back home. Unfortunately, we wish you all the very best, Bill. And you know what? Your team's got a message for you too. We're going to go over to Florty, who's got the Great British team.
Looks like Team GB is having a great time here in Gothenburg, but you are missing one very special person.
Yes, a long and good teammate of ours, Bill Huaki, who is going through treatment at the moment for prostate cancer. So we just want to wish him, we're trying to raise the awareness of prostate cancer and give him our best wishes for the future. And at the moment, he's doing well. So, yeah, Danny Carrichi, Bill.
Well, that's great to hear. And you guys, you're fighting for him today as well.
Yeah, for sure. We're here for the team. Just make sure we do really well this tonight. But, you know, wearing the band with pride. Give Bill a bit of a mention because he's such an integral part of Team GB. He's always fighting for everyone, so we'll do a bit for him tonight.
So best of greetings from all of us. Take care and hopefully see you soon.
And we move on to Heat 5 of the World Championships. This is Australia
Warm up your
going
saws.
up against Austria. Australia, very much the favourites here. 6-time world champions, and of course the reigning champions from the last World Championships back in 2019. But don't underestimate Austria. They've got some tidy performers there. This could be interesting with the wood being as tough as it is today.
To your
Who knows?
timbers. 3, 2, 1, go!
Should mention that Australia is the only team in the competition today having a sub 1 minute time. Jamie Head on the stock saw right now as we move over to the underhand chop, and it is going to be Braden Meyer on underhand chop, working hard to try and get through that block. He's quick over to the other side, and you know he is an absolute beast on this one, holding the world record for that discipline. Austria now moving over to this other side. And, I mean, what are you going to do with that guy? As Lawrence O'Toole now working on the single buck. He's going to send it over pretty shortly to Glenn Gillum, the big man on the standing block chop. Jamie, or these guys are just absolutely rocking and rolling. Here we have Hermann Heiligebrunner on single buck for Austria. He's going to try and get through as quickly as possible. Glenn Gillum already working on standing block chop, and Armin Kugler just waiting for his chance to get at that block. Glenn Gillum moving over to the other side, and now Armin Kugler is going to start working on his block. But Jesus Murphy, Glenn Gillum in a time of 58.20. Unbelievable. Their time earlier on in the time trial was 58.15. How is that for consistency, folks? Wow. That time is, of course, unofficial. Austria now will try and get through there in under the 2 minute time. Should be no problem for them. But unfortunately for Austria, they are eliminated by Australia in the competition here today. So they'll take that time, 1:17.82, to the bank and hope to do better next time around.
I mean, that is just extraordinary stuff. Sub 1 minute here at the World Championships. The favourites living up to their reputation, 57.98. It's been corrected down to, I mean, the underhand chop, 23 seconds on the underhand chop.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just remarkable stuff here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So Australia lives up to their reputation as demons in this particular discipline.
Certainly looking like the favourites moving forwards. They will be in the quarterfinals.
And the winner is Team Australia.
And they will join Canada and Sweden, who are also already there. Great Britain, of course, as well. Okay, it looks like the favourites are certainly living up to their reputation here. I mean, the speed, the smoothness, the calmness, that ability to not only be physically strong, but be mentally strong, right?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with time and experience, and these guys just know absolutely every move they have to make. Jamie Head there with a beautiful cut on stock saw.
Not forcing it, right?
Not forcing it. If you force it, you know, it could bog down the motor of the saw, and that's something that's really important with that particular discipline, is knowing your equipment. You got to be able to hear the motor and feel the motor, and if you push a bit too hard, the saw can start to bog down and lose power. But it was just an absolutely fantastic effort. And then, of course, Braden Meyer on the underhand chop, where, you know, he is the absolute master. He came in a few years ago at a trophy event and blew everybody away with the absolute speed that he was working on with the axe, and then everybody else in the world tried to keep up with him, and so far, you know, the guys are doing a great job to try and keep up with his speed of the axe, but there is just nobody faster. And then, of course, Lawrence O'Toole, a big man. He's tall, and he can really use that height to his advantage on this single buck here with a fantastic knuckles to tip stroke there. He's got an absolutely perfect form. And Hermann Heiligebrunner waiting for his chance to go. He is also incredibly strong in the single buck. Not as quite the long strokes, but he's got power and speed there. And then, of course, the final driver in the coffin for Austria was Glenn Gillum, the big man on the axe and the standing block chop. There's nobody quite as good as him in that discipline when it comes to the team competition. And Australia looks really relaxed heading through the
I was going to say,
here.
you know what strikes me is that no cheering, no getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah. That's just one more round knocked off.
Exactly.
Meeting expectations.
They can do the hugs and all of that business when and if they manage to win the thing at the end. But they've got to go through a couple of good teams. And speaking of a couple of good teams, Poland is one of those teams that they're probably going to have to battle against tail of the tape gives Poland the advantage here. There is Arkadiusz Drozdek. And Arkadiusz Drozdek, an absolutely fantastic athlete, national champion 2022. He'll be competing tomorrow in the individuals. We've got Krystian Kaczmarek, Marcin Darga. I don't see Marcin on stage, so it looks like it's going to be Szymon and Jacek Groenwald.
It's going to be the Groenwald brothers, yeah.
It's actually father and son.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so Jacek Groenwald will be on, I believe,
Warm up your saw.
Stock saw, and we'll look for Szymon Groenwald on the standing block chop. Arkadiusz Drozdek on underhand chop. However, they could have moved Marcin Darga onto standing block to give Szymon Groenwald a chance to breathe. I didn't see who was actually on stage for their standing block, so we'll see here as they go up against Italy.
Go!
So, Alessandro Ciapponi on stock saw, Jacek Groenwald on stock saw for Poland. And it's a good cut for Italy as they get a slight advantage going over to the underhand chop. And now we have Andrea Rossi going up against Arkadiusz Drozdek. A couple of legends also going with a ton of experience there for each other, moving over to the other side of their blocks pretty evenly with each other. Andrea Rossi, Arkadiusz Drozdek, who's going to cut through first here. It's some really nice cuts from Rossi, but Arkadiusz Drozdek getting through first, heading it over to the single buck. And on the single buck, we have Michi Delpin pushing hard. Ciapponi giving him some support. There it is, Szymon Groenwald. He is an absolute beast for a young man coming out of the rookie ranks recently, and he is on standing block chop on the other side. Italy joins him on the other side now, but it looks like it's going to be Groenwald barring any major mistakes or broken axe handles or busted blades. Poland at a time of 105.55, and that means they are through to the next round. I don't see any flags or anything on the deck, so that's a good thing for Poland, and they're going to make sure that the other teams know they're there, and the other teams are going to suffer. Italy struggling on those last few drivers.
A time of 1:22.
Oh, and we have a flag on the play for Italy.
It's for Italy. It's for Italy. They won't have qualified anyway. Poland have won the heat, but we will wait to see what the result of that was. That wasn't a million miles away, Italy, from their personal best. A good performance, 1:22. Their personal best being 1:16. So, yeah, there is an investigation, we're being told. We will see what the result of that is. But, wow, fast time and power and speed for Poland.
Yeah, Poland's looking really good, and obviously they've been strategic in saving some of their power as they come down onto the results stage here.
Okay, Team Italy, penalty, false start. The winner is Poland.
Poland with a time of 1:05.34, good enough to take them through to the quarterfinals. Groenwald right at the end there looked absolutely terrified.
Yeah,
didn't he?
Unbelievable.
Standing block chop went through it like a knife through hot butter. Talking of knives through hot butters, here we see the smoothness, the elegance. And I'm not talking about the slow-mo shot, I'm talking about the athleticism. I tell you what, at this stage, at the underhand chop, the Italians were even just a little bit
They were
ahead.
right there with them, and
Yeah.
I should say there's a small change I have to say is Miki Perrin was actually on the single block, and Michał Delpin, the national champion on underhand chop there. So just so that we don't throw anybody under the bus here, because things happen so fast out there that I just lose my marbles sometimes, especially after that Great Britain heat. Unbelievable.
So we have seen some pretty fast times here in the round of 16 already. The fastest so far being Australia with a time of 57.98. But that 1:05 from Poland is not a million miles away, and those two really could be favourites moving forwards. But we are still to see a couple of huge teams. We are still to see the Czech Republic, United States, and of course Australia's arch rivals, New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand's going up against a team that managed the slowest time overall today, Hungary. So it's a tough job for Hungary. But like I said, you know, they're going to be working hard to make sure they put the pressure on New Zealand. And New Zealand knows that. You know, Hungary absolutely has nothing to lose here, so they can just go for it. They can break axe handles, they can break axes, they can break saws. Anything that they can do to try and win that heat is what they're going to do.
The teams are already on stage, as we can see. We're ready for Heat 7. That's going to be the United States, who also have a sub 1 minute personal best, 51.28, going up against Czech Republic. We saw those scenes from the last World Championships in the Czech Republic. You were there.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be able to bring that kind of energy with them today?
I think so, yeah. We just see Nate Hodges chalking with Matt Kogar. Matt Kogar, the national champion for 2022, will be competing tomorrow in the individual. There you see Matt Slingerland. He'll be taking care of Stocksaw, Nate Hodges as well, out there with Jason Lentz. Jason Lentz traditionally very, very good on that single buck, and that's where we'll see him setting up. Martin Kalina and crew on stage there. Thumbs up, so the Czechs are looking pretty relaxed here. They also have really nothing to lose, and it's going to be Maciej Klima, who is the rookie European champion 2021, and he is competing under the junior class at this port. And Martin Kalina taking care of Stocksaw for them, and Martin Roussel is their
Athletes
national champ.
ready.
Bringing up the anchor position on standing block.
3,
United States on the left, going up against Czech Republic on the right.
Okay, very nice start there by both of these teams. I think it was a little bit quicker for the U.S. as they'll drop that cookie slightly ahead, maybe not. As goes over to Matthew Kogar on the underhand chop for the USA, and I believe that is Denik Maris, or maybe it's Ivan Babushka, I'm not sure, for the Czech Republic, but the U.S. is already on the other side of their block. Matt Kogar stepping down off the block to send it over to the big man, Jason Lentz.
USA miles ahead.
2020 World Champion, we actually achieved that goal at our first event without audience after the COVID pandemic in Munich, Germany. And now moving over to, I think that is Nate Hodges on standing block chop. Yes, it is, as he gets deep into that first side. And the Czech Republic has finally started on their standing block chop, but it's the United States by a mile as Maciej Klima does his best to try and work this block here. So Maciej Klima in a egregious position to anchor the Czech team past the 1:15 mark, and he's doing a great job. He's a strong young man, great character. Very, very friendly fella, but today his friendliness just didn't pan out to talking to the log and then trying to convince the log and the block to drop. A great effort by the Czech Republic, but we'll see them eliminated, and the United States will move on to the quarterfinals.
Yes, they will. We're seeing Team Czechs, fans, family and friends there. They've come a long way to support their team. It wasn't quite enough today, but great showing this morning in the qualifications and again here. And the USA are just in a different league, aren't they?
Well, I don't know if we can say they're in a different league than the Czech Republic. They're definitely up there among the top athletes and teams, and so is the Czech Republic.
And the winner is USA.
There is the confirmation that the United States go through to the quarterfinals with a slightly adjusted time of 1 minute and change.
Yeah.
We are
just about making under the minute.
Starting exactly to get a feel for these performances here.
Oh, a bit of a bobble there, trying to get...
missed that live.
The problem is that the chain brake is right there next to the handle, so if you're reaching down in the pressure of a competition situation and you grab the chain brake instead of the handle, then you got to re-grab, and if you put the chain brake on, that's tough because you got to turn it off. And yeah, it's just... there's so many things that happen out there, and that just comes from time and experience. But what a great job by the Americans. They really, really put the pedal to the metal in this one. Matt Kogar there with a fantastic underhand chop. Jason Lentz, of course, doing a great job on the single buck. And Nate Hodges anchoring that team to a good win as we take a look at the single buck for the Czech Republic there. What the concentration and just the power that these guys are putting into
He wants that, doesn't he?
He really wants it.
Wow.
Just a great job, though.
Yeah. Nate Hodges powering through that
standing block chop there, sending a bit of a statement to the rest of the teams out there. The United States go through. Might this be their year? They've been the nearly men several times here. 4-time silver medalist.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Well, exactly. 5-time bronze medalist. Maybe 2022 is their year. We can see the crew here up on stage. We had a team photo taken this afternoon between the qualifiers and the main event. There were so many people on stage. It is remarkable how many people are involved in the STIHL Timbersports event here. And I tip my metaphorical hat to all of them for the wonderful job they do. They charge on. Sometimes you don't even see them. They charge on the stage. They get everything ready like a team changing tires in a pit lane. It kind of reminds me of.
That's the best description for it, and I mean, and without them, this event would not run, because they have to clean that stage to make sure it is safe for the athletes to be out there, especially with all the things that are happening out there at any given time. And there we see the last two teams from the round of 16 getting ready to go. New Zealand going up against Hungary.
Of course, all of the tools being used on stage to clean it and prepare it for the next teams are, of course, produced by STIHL. The atmosphere in the arena is, I think I would describe it as ready to explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's,
you could say that.
Yeah, it feels like something's going to come. It's building up. We've got 3 more rounds to come, of course. We've got the quarterfinals, the semis, and then the finals. Let's see who will be the last team making it through to the quarterfinals. It's Heat 8, and it's New Zealand. Very possibly one of the favourites, going up against Hungary, who had the slowest score in qualifying this morning. Might we see a sub 60-minute time here from New Zealand?
60 minutes, definitely.
60 seconds. I beg your pardon, 60 seconds.
It's definitely possible.
Do you think it'll be under 60 minutes?
Yeah.
60 seconds.
I would say it's definitely going to be under 60 minutes. And then we see Jack Jordan and Shane Jordan out there on stage getting ready to go. There we see Istvan Juhas, Denke Strubel, Josef Strubel, René Kamvazi, the 4 guys that were going to be competing for Hungary.
Your Hungarian accent is very strong, Troy.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But these guys know, and just a quick look right there over to the New Zealand side. He knows. These guys know they've got a real battle on their hands here. But like I said earlier, you know, for Hungary, it's all or nothing. They don't have to worry about, let's save some energy. Let's just get to the next round is the only thing they're thinking about.
Warm up your saws.
So we're looking at one of the competition favourites here on the left in black. New Zealand has taken the last couple of practice swings, going up against underdogs in the red, Hungary.
Big man Adam Lowe will be starting it off for New Zealand on stock saw.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice even start by both sides. Ooh, that's a big disc for Hungary. Very nice cut. Dead even as they move over to the underhand chop. And it looks like that's Jack Jordan on underhand chop for New Zealand. Young man is absolutely fantastic. We saw him do well in the trophy format earlier this year in Vienna. Let's see, I mean, he's well ahead there as he's through.
I don't know, you can hear the saw in the background.
Yeah, you can hear the saw in the background as they've already moved over. And that's Jason Wynyard, an absolute master with this discipline here. He'll be competing in the individual championship tomorrow, aiming to get his 10th world championship, if you can believe that. He's had it 9 times in New Zealand. Shane Jordan now moving over to the other side of his block. This is going to look good. They're not going to have a sub-minute time here, but they don't care as long as they get through to the next round. And Shane Jordan drops it in 105.99. Hungary just getting on to their single buck right now. That's the New Zealand fans. The All Blacks fans are out there in the stands giving a big round of applause. And now Hungary will move over to the standing block chop. The time is running down for them. They want to try and get a time here. If they get to 2 minutes, that's going to be a DQ for exceeded time.
Come on, Hungary.
But he's looking good here on this standing block chop. He's got to get through that. That thing is wiggling and waggling, though. The whole block in the stand. And you can hear the audience from the crowd there. Just every hit they're screaming, though. That's fantastic. I love to see that. 15 seconds to get that thing done. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Get through there. Get your time for the team.
Come on,
a couple more drivers should do it. Come on, you
Come
can
on,
get
Ference, you're nearly there, buddy.
Yes!
There it is.
55.97. Great job.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations to Hungary. They made it through to the round of 16 today, and they put up certainly a great score for them, and they got under 2 minutes. They got their numbers on the board, and that's going to be a huge achievement for them. Also, though, a huge achievement, and another one of those kind of subtle statements from New Zealand. We're still here, dear Australia. We're still here, United States. New Zealand are not yet on the plane home. That was Heat 8 of the round of 16. We're going to see New Zealand, barring any surprises from head judge Rich Hollett here, through to the quarterfinals.
And the winner is Team New Zealand.
Yes, it is. With a time of 105.64, New Zealand join Sweden, Australia, Canada, Poland, Switzerland, the United States, and Great Britain in the quarterfinals of the 2022 STIHL Timbersports World Championships.
There we see Adam Lowe, the big man, with a nice start cut. He lifted that saw pretty high, actually. I think he probably wanted to get a more efficient start cut there. Probably would have made their time a little bit faster, but nevertheless, he had a good, clean cookie. What I was impressed by there were how thin the cookie was for the Hungarian side. They did a fantastic job, and it was a good battle for them, absolutely.
So here we can see the results. Oh, they went away again, unfortunately. We saw them briefly there.
You had to blink a bunch of times to get it remembered on the back of your retina. And you can see Jason Wynyard absolutely in top form. This is the best shape I've seen Jason Wynyard in years. He is absolutely fit.
So we're seeing the last blows here. There
and
it is.
It's very,
just
very important
that
to be loud
wood
because,
to
you
the
know, with all
sword
that
there,
sound, all that
spanking
craziness,
it away.
we need to see you guys
This
to get the
is
chance
quite a performance
to get a
from,
real nice prize.
New Zealand here. They are going to be in the quarterfinals.
Some
And you know
Timbersport
what?
merchandise.
They might go a little bit further than that. I've got a feeling about
What
them
about
today.
you guys over there?
You know, they're yeah, look at him. Pounding his chest in support and in happiness. Brilliant stuff.
And that was so nice.
Yeah, fantastic
I'll
battles
go for another
there.
one.
By far the most exciting one for me was Great Britain up against France in that one heat. I mean, it was unbelievable how close it was, and it literally came down to an axe getting stuck.
What about you guys over here? Can you see
that was
me?
a difference maker. One single driver.
Make some
Amazing.
noise.
We've seen some close ones, but that was definitely the closest. But the interesting ones for me have also been Australia, New Zealand, USA saying, you know what? We're here, and we're gonna perform, and we're gonna be involved
today. Particularly Sweden with an axe breaking and the wherewithal for Emil Hansen to get the other axe, take the block out, and he's good to go.
Sorry to interrupt you. What we can do is we can go to a split screen here,
yes, let's
and we can
check
see
that out.
Australia on the left against United States on the right, and we can kind of compare like for like. Here we go. So they weren't in the same heat together, but we've lined them up against each other. Australia.
The two fastest here.
So the United States were slightly ahead at the
underhand chop.
At the underhand chop.
But you can see actually, that's a great job by Matthew to get around to the other side, especially going up against the Australians. I mean, they're so fast there. And then moving over to Lawrence O'Toole, keeping right in pace with the big man Jason Lenz. I mean, these guys are dead even. They're two big men, long legs, great form on that single buck. But look what it comes down to right here. This is just an absolutely monstrous event for the Australian side. And boy, they were really, really close. I tell you, it doesn't get much closer than that, right, between these two guys. And there was Glenn Gillam with those final drivers that did it 1-2 strokes ahead. Unbelievable. So close against Nate.
what strikes me is that neither team celebrated. They knew that those were times that they were going to have to put up, and they are both through. Okay.
Why bother celebrating when you haven't won anything yet? You still got to get through the quarterfinals, semifinals, and to the finals. So there's still some time to go.
Yes, there is. We're going to take a short break here. We will see you in a couple of seconds. Please support our sponsors because they support us.
The Liebherr TA230. Powerful, dynamic, unstoppable. Our newest addition to the family.
Cordless power by STIHL, only from approved STIHL dealers.
Welcome back here in Gothenburg, Sweden, where we are at the quarterfinal stages of the World Championships, STIHL Timbersports 2022, the team event. I love the fluidity. I love the way that it's not just about me and not just about my power. It's about that symmetry and timing. Can I slip in and help out my next teammate so that he can pick up the baton and move on?
It's about team symmetry, and look at that audience right there. That is just fantastic. Full house here tonight at the Partille Arena here, where they're normally playing handball in Gothenburg. But tonight it's all about the team championship, and look who is up next.
Oh,
unbelievable
boy,
battle
oh boy.
here.
Possibly the best Timbersports team in the world, Australia, going up against definitely the favourite Timbersports team in Sweden. In Sweden, the locals here. We had some VIP groups popping into the studio earlier, didn't we? A number of Swedes. We had people from Belvikun, for example. They reckon that this might be Sweden's day, but if they're going to win it, they've got to beat Australia on the right. We see there on the screen with an extraordinary personal best from way back in 2018, 45-10. Whether that will ever be beaten, let alone today, remains to be seen. But Sweden are going to have to pull out the performance of a lifetime to get past Australia here, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, they are really, really in tough now. They've had a bit of a rough draw going up against Australia here. So, yeah, they've got their work cut out for them.
So you saw 6 teams on the screen, 6 names on the screen for Sweden just a moment ago. Teams can bring up to 2 substitutes with them, but then only 4 can compete, of course. Here in the quarterfinal, it's going to be representing Sweden. It's going to be Emil Hansson, Ferry Svan, Pontus Sky and Kalle Svarding, and they will be going up against the Australians, Lawrence O'Toole, Jamie Head, Braden Meyer and Glenn Gillam. It looks like, if the information that we've given here is that Brad DeLoza will be sitting out this round, or do I see him there on stage?
I don't see Brad DeLosa. Normally we would see Brad on that single buck, but it looks like it's going to be Lawrence O'Toole on single buck.
2, 1, go!
Green and yellow versus Australia in green.
And you see Jamie Head on the cut for the stock saw. Moving over to the underhand shot. Ferry Swan get that stuck right away, and you don't want to do that up against the guy like Braden Meyer on the underhand shot. Braden Meyer moves over to the other side of his block quickly. Ferry Swan stuck again. He's in trouble now. And now waiting for that block to split. Braden Meyer's done it, moving it over to Lawrence O'Toole on the single buck. Single buck is Lawrence O'Toole's absolute discipline. And there you see Ferry Swan struggling, still battling. He is a fighter. He wants to get through there and give his team a chance there. But now they've gone over to Glenn Gillam, as we saw with Glenn Gillam and that big banana axe of his. He gets through those blocks like hot knife through butter. And now Emil Hansson will take his shot at that standing block chop, as Kalle Svarding got through the single buck pretty quickly. But Glenn Gillam, boy howdy, I tell you, there's not many people that are faster than him, and Sweden gets knocked out by Australia here. A tough draw for the Swedish side. Really good job, though, by Sweden, as they're getting a ton of support from the audience. Emil Hansson, one last driver should do it, drops the block. But the time for Australia, 57.06, absolutely fantastic. A great effort by Sweden, a bit of a rough block for Ferry Swan. Again, on the underhand chop, he just struggled through that one a little bit too much.
He has sadly not had a great day, has he, for his standards?
It's been rough for Ferry, to be honest with you. He is definitely better than that, but, you know, sometimes the wood gets you and sometimes you get the wood. So that's the way it goes, unfortunately. And Ferry Swan and Team Sweden will be eliminated, but the guys are giving each other big congratulations on stage. So that's something that we absolutely love here, and we'll continue to try and promote, is that camaraderie among the athletes, which is always good. So let's see what Rich Hallett has to say.
And the winner is Team Australia.
There's the confirmation that Team Australia go through to the semi-finals with a relatively terrifying time of 56.78.
Yeah. Season's best, by the way, that time.
Season's best. It is a tournament's best today as well. And don't look now, but Australia have lodged a faster time every round now. And there are still 2 to come. We are going to go over. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? We're seeing scenes here of the Swedes saying goodbye, saying farewell to this wonderful audience that is supporting them here in Gothenburg. The Gothenburg locals have been wonderful to us all week, haven't
absolutely.
they? You know, we felt
amazing.
so at home here. Beautiful city, and the organisation and everything surrounding the tournament has been fantastic. Unfortunately, it's the end of the road for Sweden today, but it means that we get to see Australia at least one more time.
Yeah, they're going to go on to the semi-final. You could see Ferry was just really struggling through the block here. He's so good in this. He's so quick. He's very similar to Braden Meyer in respect of how quickly he can move the axe. But, you know, he got through on this side. He's accurate. He's good at cutting, but it just wasn't his day. And you can see Braden Meyer there just absolutely calmly working his way through that block. Steps down, doesn't even look back. He could see that Lawrence O'Toole started working that 2-meter-long cross-cut saw. So efficient, knuckles to tip. Each stroke is very, very good and strong. And then, of course, Glenn Gillam with those fantastically heavy blows from a big man on the standing block chop. There's just no stopping Australia today, it seems like. Wow, look at that, the power. Huge.
Okay, Australia will be going through to the semi-finals. Sweden will not. We see here a clip from just a couple of seconds ago saying farewell to their crowd. We can go to an interview with the Swedish team.
Guys, things are getting crazy here in Gothenburg. I've got goosebumps. Sweden has to say goodbye, but to lose against the 6 times team world champions Australia, that is not a disgrace, is it?
Yeah, it's great to be here, but it's sad to lose, but we did what we could, and very, very big thank you to all the crowd here. It's a really amazing crowd and a really amazing spirit here.
It was so much fun to watch you guys smiling all the time. I mean, look at this. Everybody just stood up, and I'm sure they're going to stand up again to say goodbye to this Swedish team, right?
Yeah, hopefully there's a good crowd, and cheer on for the other guys as well.
What was your special moment for tonight? I mean, you have to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to reload for tomorrow, yeah. I hope you're coming back, the audience.
So is everybody going to be back to support Sweden in the individual world championship? You want to show us your Swedish flags one more time, Gothenburg? You want to maybe get up and say goodbye to this fantastic team? Thank you so much for your big support, Matt and Troy. You're just going to love this. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Team Sweden, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, great scenes here in the Podium Arena as the Sweden fans say farewell to their plucky performers there. It wasn't meant to be for Sweden today, but you know, a shout out here for Florty, for Marcus Flort, who just does a wonderful job here at STIHL TIMBERSPORTS in the arenas, getting the crowds going, doing the interviews, those kind of things. We'll be talking to Florty again as the day continues. And as he rightly said, and we should remind our viewers back home as well of that, this is only the first of 2 days this weekend.
Correct. We have the individual world championship tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Arena is completely sold out. It's going to be nuts to butts in the arena tomorrow, so I think that it's going to be a good time for the individual world championship, where you get to see these guys on stage one by one.
I can't believe that you got away with saying that on a live international stream. You are a legend of the sport, sir. Speaking of legends of the sport, it is time for your home country. A little salute here in the studio from Troy for his team, Canada, going up against Poland. You saw there their personal bests, almost identical, nothing in it.
Very, very close.
That's right.
For both of these teams, it's going to be an all-or-nothing situation. For Nick Russell, Ben Cumberland, Marcel Dupuis, and Jeff Larkin. It's going to be going up against an incredibly strong team from Poland. I don't see Arkadiusz there. He could be taking a break on this one, but there you see that is Michał Dubicki. Michał Dubicki is going to fill in for Arkadiusz on the underhand chop. That means we're going to have Jacek Groenwald starting things off from stock saw. Then it'll go over to the big man, Michał Dubicki. He's very quick with that axe on underhand chop. So Marcel Dupuis, who is his competitor on the other side on that discipline, is going to have his work cut out for him. Then Krystian Kaczmarek will be taking care of that single buck. And then, of course, Szymon Groenwald, the anchor, bringing up the rear on the standing block chop. This is going to be a real tough battle. Neither one of these teams are going to give an inch. The times are very, very close on the tail of tape. Here we go.
It's the second quarterfinal, Canada versus Poland. The
athletes ready.
World Championship team, bronze medalist 2018 Canada against the silver medalist from 2017 Poland.
Right, starting off with a pretty clean cut, dead even as they move over to the underhand chop, and you can see right away that is the big man Michał Dubicki in the white and red, but it's Marcel Dupuis who actually moved over to the other side of his block, just about a half stroke to a stroke ahead of Michał Dubicki. So it could be an interesting battle between these two legends on that underhand chop, and who's going to start the single buck first. Dubicki struggling to try and find it. He's got to step back up and get through and make sure that's really definitely done, but it is Canada who started a little bit ahead of Poland on that single buck. It's going to come down to a very close race then, I think, between Ben Cumberland on the standing block chop as he gets going. And, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. Szymon Groenwald, who is super strong in this discipline. Cumberland got a bit hooked up as he moves over to the other side, just about even with Szymon Groenwald. Who's going to get through there first? It's going to be very close between Canada and Poland. Oh, it's Canada! Just by about 2 strokes. Oh my goodness, Canada eliminates Poland here in the quarterfinals. A fantastic result. I can't believe how much I'm spinning all over the place here, but I'm so excited for Canada. That's fantastic. And what a fantastic effort from Poland as well. Szymon Groenwald looked like he was going to make it really difficult for the Canadians, and he did. But Ben Cumberland kept his cool and made a fantastic final couple of cuts with an amazing, massive driver at the end.
I can confirm to you, for all of you out there who don't have spitter vision, my co-coms here was going absolutely crazy. We got showered. Max, the cameraman, didn't know where to look. But, you know, I'm happy for you, sir. I'm happy for your team here that's got you through to the semi-final. Canada, what a performance, what a time. Almost 1 minute dead. There it is, with a time of 1 dead and change. Canada go through to the semi-finals. Wowzers, was that close.
I think I broke my hand clapping our hands so hard together. What a fantastic effort from the Canadians. I mean, wow, wow, wow. Oh, Canada. You can't say it any better than that. Nick, Ben, Jeff, Marcel, just a fantastic effort by those guys. Let's take a look back at the slow-mo here. Beautiful start. Really nice, thin cookie. Dead on the line. Perfect alignment there as he gets through there.
You see the way that he's going down with the saw as the saw goes down, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's different styles that you can use, but that was just beautiful effort there. The thing that was really surprising for me, and I know Marcel Dupuis is absolutely on point at the moment, but I was really surprised that he did that well against a monster like Michał Dubicki. He is so good in that discipline, but right here, He stepped down, had to step back up, and then take 2 or 3 more drivers to get through
He's
there.
got to be very careful that he does get his foot back up there, right?
He
That
can't
could be a DQ.
make another swing while his foot is on the ground. He has to be secure on top of the log. And right here, this kid, Szymon Groenwaldowie, I mean, he makes everybody shudder, and you can see the Polish team screaming and yelling at him to get going and moving on, and our cameraman, Basti, in the background trying to get out of the way of the flying chips. But Ben Cumberland, look at the final driver here. Watch these last few chips fall out. And on the background, you could see Szymon Groenwaldowie so close. Unbelievable effort. And I mean, these guys are looking fit and fast in Canada, so I'm really happy about that.
Canada join Australia in the quarterfinals.
Semifinals, buddy.
I beg your pardon. Canada and Sweden join Australia in the semifinals. Yes, they do. We are going to take a short break here, and we're going to get a word from our sponsors. One of them is Forward. If you could buy, I'd buy Split Vision.
Wasting time anymore today here as we get into this next heat.
Time for Heat 3 of the quarterfinals. It's Switzerland against the United States of America. Personal bests around the 1 minute mark, so we could see fireworks here in the third quarterfinal. The team of Switzerland will be represented by Geisler, Reinhard, Gnadinger and Bühler. And the United States will have the 2 Mats, Slingerland and Koga, the big man, Jason Lentz, and their team will be wrapped up by Nate Hodges.
Now, I don't want to jinx anybody here, but I think that Switzerland's going to make it real difficult on the USA in this particular heat. I don't know why, but something tells me that they are absolutely on fire as the guys get their stars warmed up and ready to start this battle.
Okay, quite a prediction from my co-coms here. Let's see whether his prediction comes true. We're looking at Switzerland, bronze medalists back in 2010, going up against perennial semi-finalists, United States.
Nice start cut for both teams. Switzerland looking pretty solid here. The USA very good in this discipline as well, as both of them get over to the underhand chop. Christoph Geisler going up against Matthew Kogar head-to-head in this heat on the underhand chop. It's going to be Matthew Kogar moving over to the other side. Christoph Geisler still working through on the first side of his block, so a bit of an advantage now, and I might have spoken too soon for Switzerland. Christoph Geisler moves over to the other side now, and you can see the United States is already through. Jason Lentz now on that single buck, not giving any cares in the world. He wants through there. Oh, and the big slabs in the way for Christoph Geisler as he is really struggling to get through that block. Major disadvantage for Switzerland at the moment, and they are already over to Nathan Hodges on that standing block chop as he gets working the first side. He'll switch over to the second side fairly quickly here. And now Björn Gnadinger starting on the single buck for Switzerland, but it's well and good too late for Switzerland as the United States just passing the 110 mark. Nate Hodges working on the second side of that standing block job should get it done and dusted. Oh, that thread holds on, a little tap, and they are done in 1:17.68. And that means the USA has just eliminated Switzerland in this quarterfinal.
Proving ultimately and definitively that your prediction was
absolutely wrong.
The United States at the time of 1:17.68, which very interestingly, if they had been in a heat up against Sweden, wouldn't have been enough. So it's not about the times, it's about beating who's in front of you, and that's exactly what the United States have done here. It was the slowest quarterfinal heat we've seen so far today, but those things are also to be expected if you think about the amount of effort these boys have been putting in all afternoon here.
We're also seeing a changing of the guard in Switzerland as well, with Oliver Reinhardt coming in.
Right.
He's going to be one of those guys that's leading that team and dragging them, kicking and screaming, into the next level of athleticism. So we're going to see Switzerland definitely stepping up onto the main stage sooner than later.
Just waiting for the last two Swiss athletes here. Here they come. Not a bad time at all from the United States,
And
117.
the winner is Team USA.
But it is currently a few seconds away from Australia and Canada, so it will be interesting to see whether the United States were just kind of keeping something in reserve, so to speak, for the semis.
Might be playing it strategically. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say at this stage, but you've only got to beat what's in front of you, and that's what the United States did there, although it was a good start from Switzerland.
Very good start, and actually the stock saw was about as even as it gets in these two heats here, or in this one heat between these two teams, as both of the teams moved over to their underhand chop. The thing is that Christoph Geisler he didn't have the melon that he needed on the underhand chop. He had a lot of material in the way on a couple of his drivers there, and that just makes it a lot tougher, and he stepped down. I didn't see that earlier during the heat. He stepped down and needed to make sure he was back on top of that block before making the next swing. And there you see Jason Lenz, whose arms are as big as my calves, and I mean, as absolutely massive man right there. You know, he just made short work of that single buck. And you can see there in the background, Christoph Geisler still trying to get through that block. And it's not by fault of his own skills and abilities. He is absolutely a fantastic athlete, but he just had a block that would not release. And there are the final drivers from the American side.
Look at the splits just flying out there.
Just absolutely taking chips off of that block like crazy. And the final driver right there. And here's the thread that's holding onto it. And she's just like, this is dumb.
You know, the power of this strike right here, that's about the power that I would hit it with, I think.
you and me both, if I could control the axe nearly a quarter as well as these guys could.
So brace yourselves, people. It's the quarterfinal that everybody's been waiting for. It's New Zealand. They almost certainly don't have a chance, going up against the mighty Great Britain. I am joking, of course. New Zealand are one of the favourites here, but Britain have done an absolutely massive job to get themselves in the quarterfinal.
They have, and that heat against France was so exciting. Are they going to make it exciting in this one against New Zealand? I certainly hope so.
Ooh, wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great? Can you imagine they eliminate New Zealand, the amount of confidence that would give them?
Stop it. It's been a pretty turbulent year for Great Britain, so let's see if their timber sports athletes can raise the morale back on the island a little bit. We've got Huff, Turner, Redmond, Penlington and Penlington going up for Great Britain against Jordan, Lowe, McDonald and Jordan for New Zealand. Is Jason Wynyard, according to our data here, not going to be competing?
That was him there.
He is on the stage.
He is on stage. That's his discipline. That's absolutely his discipline. That single.
Why would you not have Jason Wynyard on stage?
No, I mean, in this situation, he wants to make sure that he's on stage. He is, like I said, he is looking as fit as I've ever seen him. Obviously, he lost a few kilos. He's strong. And, I mean, the determination on his face is that he just wants to have that 10th World Championship title. And he wouldn't mind adding a Team World Championship title to it either.
3, 2,
Great Britain in blue on the left, going as New Zealand in black on the right.
Clean start by Terry Hoff. For Great Britain on the left-hand side.
That's close, going into the second discipline.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a bit of a stick there as we see Jack Morris on stage now in the underhand chop. Interesting choice to put the former rookie, or I don't know if he's former rookie, but he's definitely there as he moves over to the other side, going up against Jack Jordan, excuse me. And now they've moved over to, look at this. Look at how quickly he goes through there. It's unbelievable. Jason Wynyard is just a legend for no reason whatsoever other than the single buck, but he's so good. And now moving over to the standing block chop, Shane Jordan moving on to the other side of his, and Jack Morris still trying to get through that underhand chop. The underhand chop seems to be the crux for a lot of these guys today, just not behaving the way it should. And it's going to be Shane Jordan ending the run for Great Britain, but boy, did Britain make it exciting earlier on today with a fantastic effort. And you've got to love the way that they've been coming and coming hard every time they get up on stage. So a great job by Great Britain, and they can be proud of how they've performed here today. And New Zealand is one step closer to going head-to-head with Australia. Will it happen again as Glenn Pendleton works his magic on the block to try and get through that in under 2 minutes to get a time logged in.
Getting wonderful support from the crowd.
Yeah, and I mean, look how accurate his drivers are. No steps at all. Beautiful hits, so clean.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic finish for Glenn right there.
Great job, Glenn. Great job, Great Britain. Well done. Sub 140 time. Not bad at all. But unfortunately, a country mile away from the extraordinary performance from the New Zealand team.
Yes.
That was another lightning time. 1 minute and 0.5 seconds. That's about as close as I think our computers can get to the 1 minute mark. New Zealand, wowzers. They are here to win it, aren't they?
They are, absolutely. So a great job by both of these teams, and you know, Bill Huaki back home can be proud of how his guys performed today, because they really did do a great job on stage.
And the winner is Team New Zealand.
Congratulations, Team New Zealand. We now have our 4 semi-finalists. New Zealand joined the United States, Canada, and Australia. Wow, it's, you know, when you start the day with 20 teams and then you see a couple of surprises in qualifying and you see, I don't know, a Ferry Svan from Sweden slipping up, and you see a couple of unexpected things, you wonder who's going to make it to the semis. But it turns out that we've got some of our favourites here. Australia, Canada, United States, New Zealand, they're all here in the semis.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have 4 really strong teams going into this semi-final here with Australia, Canada, United States, and New Zealand. And I mean, not really any surprises there as we take a look back at the slow-mo here, which was just a fantastic effort from both of these guys. Unfortunately, Jack Morris really struggled with that block, and I don't think it had anything to do with Jack Morris either. It's just the block is, again, a real problem for the underhand chop for these guys today. So, I mean, an absolutely fantastic effort for Great Britain. They've done a great job here today to really be clean and solid and make everybody work for every ounce that they took from them. And again, Shane Jordan finishing things off really, really nicely here for New Zealand with his last few drivers and some nice big slabs and chips coming off of that block. And again, you can see the accuracy of these hits here as he is so clean with the cuts, and we saw that from Glenn Pendleton as well. He's so clean with the cuts when he gets up there. There's just really not too many people that are better than Glenn Pendleton with the accuracy of the hits. So a great job by Team Great Britain as well as Team New Zealand in that last heat, as we now get ourselves set for the semifinals. It's going to be exciting.
Oh, yes, it is. It's going to be Australia, Canada, United States, New Zealand. You know what? We're excited here in Sweden. This is 2022, the Team World Championships.
Yep.
And we can see here the confirmation of the teams that will go through to the semi-final. Australia will go up against Canada in the first semi-final, and it'll be the United States of America versus New Zealand in semi-final 2. And like we just said, you could have maybe said at the beginning of the week that you might well see those 4 somewhere near the semi-finals, and they've confirmed that. It looks like that tradition is certainly there. Talking of tradition, we had the Czech Republic in 2019. We saw that amazing clip earlier.
Oh, yeah.
We're here in Sweden
So
2022. There would, of course, be a team and individual world championships in 2023. We'll be there. Will you?
Herzlich willkommen, Stuttgart! A new world record from Sterling Hart.
To celebrate the 90th anniversary, STIHL has brought the STIHL Timbersports World Championship back to Stuttgart.
That's the confirmation. Get your tickets now. We are coming home. STIHL Timbersports is coming home to where it all began in Stuttgart, Germany, 2023. Tickets already available. The stadium here, the arena here is full. It'll be full in Stuttgart as well. I'm absolutely certain of that. So make sure you get your tickets. Troy will be there spitting over the cameramen and commentating on every bit of action. and we hope very much to see you there. Looking forward to coming home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Stuttgart's got a bit of a ghost in it as far as world records are concerned. We saw Ferry Swan absolutely destroy the springboard world record back in 2016, I believe it was. It was an incredible day there, and so we're looking forward to being back there in 2023. But we still got a lot of action here in 2022, and we're going to take a look at split screen, I believe.
Yes,
right
we are. Okay, let's see the two teams up against each other. This is Australia on the left in green, and of course New Zealand in their infamous black shirts.
Australia with a better start on that stock saw, but New Zealand was quicker on the stock saw cut, with Adam Lowe doing a great job there, and you could see down on the bottom of the screen our two athletes on the underhand chop, and the speed is just insane. And no, you're not looking at sped up footage. That is actually how fast they're cutting those blocks. It is insane. Now here we have on the right hand side an absolute legend on the single buck. On the left hand side, a gentleman that is getting close to or is already at legendary status. I mean, both of these teams have a bunch of guys that you could call legends. It was just an incredible battle. Now, this wasn't the head-to-head that we saw earlier on, but this may be the head-to-head that we see later on, depending on how the USA or Canada does against their respective partners on stage. And those last couple of blows, just absolutely fantastic. So there we go, getting ready for Canada or the United States. Oh, excuse me, it's Australia, Canada.
Yes, it is.
I've got that twisted on my page.
No, it's okay. The semi-final, heat one of the semis is Australia versus Canada. I mean, the extraordinary thing now is, of course, the rest times, or the non-existent rest times.
Non-existent rest times.
They've just been brutalizing it in the quarters, and now they're out there again.
And now you really got to call on all of your reserves in these last two heats here, because you need it to be able to go on to the final and then the small final. I would have loved to have seen here in the semi-final Australia and New Zealand against each other, and a battle of the 49th parallel with the Canada and the United States against each other.
Okay, I see the symmetry there.
What I honestly wouldn't mind seeing is sending the Australians and New Zealand team home and having the USA and Canada battle in the final. That would be quite okay with me as well.
Well, it really is. We've got everything possible here. It could be Australia, New Zealand in the final. It could be Canada, United States. It could be something else altogether. These are short and small dividers that separate possible finalists here. It could be seconds, it could be hundreds of seconds. This is the semi-final, Australia versus Canada.
Good start on the stock saw. Head looking clean. Let's see if he's got that cookie down. First bang on with each other. And there we go. Marcel Dupuis up against Braden Meyer. Braden had a little bit of a stick there, decided to jump over early, and Marcel Dupuis definitely keeping up with him. Braden Meyer through quickly, and now they're moving over to the single buck.
It's close, very close.
Very close. It's looking like Brad DeLosa is doing a great job on the single buck, but he's through quicker and giving that option now to Glenn Gillum, who is a fantastic anchor man for them. Moving over to Ben Cumberland. Glenn Gillum moves over to the other side of his block. Ben Cumberland yet to move over to the other side of his block. And that's looking close for the Australian side. Glenn Gillum is going to do it, and Australia eliminates Canada. I wouldn't call it easy, because Canada definitely kept up with them. But the last couple of drivers for Ben Cumberland, who is also looking fit and fine, is not quite fast enough today. So a great job by Australia to take out a what you could say is a rival, because Canada has had the silver medal in the past, but this time it's just not happening for the Canadians. So I'm not going to say I'm gutted, because they've had a fantastic effort here today. A really good job by Team Canada, but Australia, as we've seen from the get-go, are just on another planet altogether.
Commiserations to Canada, who go out with a really strong time of 55.60. That would have won any other heat this evening, but it wasn't good enough against the remarkable Australians with, wait for it, a time of 50 seconds, .06. Quite remarkable sportspersonship here in the arena. Australia, the favourites going into this.
And the winner is Team Australia.
Will go into the final, because the decision has been confirmed by Dr. Rich Hallett.
Season's best, there it is.
Another one.
SB.
But it's interesting to note that Canada stepped up to the plate and got their time under a minute here, even with the conditions of the logs as they were. So they really, really did keep up right with Australia all the way. As we take a look there really quickly at Jamie Head on that stock saw, full concentration. Nice angle on his saw there.
You know what, Troy? I said flippantly earlier, we're almost certainly not going to see the world record 45 seconds topped, but they're only 4.5 seconds away from that. I mean, this is scary, and they're getting faster and faster.
It is scary. They are getting faster and faster, but let's be honest. I mean, you know, you got to have ideal conditions for that to happen here. And there you see Braden Meyer breaking through. Marcel Dupuis, again, underhand chop was the problem for a lot of people. Braden
It's been tough today, hasn't it?
It's been really tough, and I think, you know, like I told you, and Jolanda Gnedinger has helped me a lot with understanding what the axes that they're using, the differences between a wedge axe or a banana blade, or, you know, the different axe head shapes that cut through the different types and the conditions of the wood. So it seems like Australia is really, they've got their surfboard set for the wave perfectly, you know. It's absolutely on point today, and it's been working for them. Canada's done a very good job as well, but Jesus, Glenn Gillam, he is just a powerhouse. You watch these last two drivers for him. Bang! Out into the left field with that block. It was done and dusted. No major celebrations again from Australia, but you can see they're a little more animated every time they get to another round, and there, that little fist pump from Glenn, and giving everybody a quick five, and they know they're moving on to the next round, and that's going to make it very interesting to see who is going to be joining them. Is it going to be New Zealand, or is it going to be the United States?
This is the final semi-final of the World Championships, the team event here in Gothenburg, Sweden. We've got two more teams who could maybe take that final place in the final and go up against favourites Australia. It's the United States and New Zealand's personal bests of 1 minute .74, 1 minute .05. Just
and I really like
that.
I really like that that New Zealand
the logo.
The logo. That's
great,
cool with the crossed axe and saw and single buck.
Yeah, very cool.
That's definitely cool.
Very cool. The New Zealand designer's done a grand job there. Definitely, this could go either way. I mean, this you called it earlier. I'm not sure you could call this one, right?
No, it's just too hard. I mean, Tale of the Tape has these two teams so close together, it's bananas. You know, each of their athletes can stand up to each other any day of the week on any of these disciplines individually. It's really, I think, mostly this is going to be about making sure that you're just focused and you're staying absolutely on your job and not worrying about what the other guy on stage is doing, except for making sure that you don't start too early into your heat.
Giving all the squad members of New Zealand a shout out here. We're going to see four from Wynyard, Jordan, McDonald, Lowe, Jordan and Bolstad, and they will be going up against the United States, Matt Slingerland, Matt Koga, Jason Lentz, and Nate Hodges.
Jason Wynyard actually taking a break in this one, where he's normally on that single buck.
Athletes ready.
Being moved over by Nate McDonald, I believe, is on that single buck.
Will we see Jason again in the final?
Definitely.
That's a cool United States versus New Zealand.
Yeah, that's assuming they make it into the final, but this is the big call right here as they move over to the underhand chop. Matthew Kogar going up against Jack Jordan. Jack Jordan has shown his peaches in this one, and he's been very good, but it was actually Kogar over to the other side first. He's looking very good as he is through in a nice good time, and this could be good for the United States as they move on to Jason Lenz and that single buck. We know he's solid here. And Jason and the team can smell blood in the water as he's cut it down. And now moving over to Nathan Hodges. He's going to make it hard, but we've got a big man, Shane Jordan, on the standing block chop. Hodges is over to the other side. Is it possible that the United States is going to eliminate New Zealand here? It's very close. Let's see who's going to get through that block first. Is it going to be Nate Hodges or Shane Jordan? So close. And coming down the left, the United States has just eliminated New Zealand. A fantastic effort. And that means the USA will go on to battle Australia, and the United States will take on Canada in the small final. Holy smokes, folks, what a finish there between two absolute monster teams. And I said it right away, you can't tell what's going to happen between these two teams. Incredible effort.
You just can't call it. United States with a time of 56.30, 3.65 seconds faster than New Zealand at just over 1 minute. Wowzers. I've got to say, I thought that was going to be New Zealand's ball game, but what a performance from the relay team from the United States there.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely fantastic job by the USA. Jason Lenz, he knew that they were ahead when he got onto that single buck.
USA.
There it
Jason
is.
Lenz just absolutely went to town on that single buck with a great job, and that gave them the major advantage. But Matthew Kogar with a fantastic underhand chop to make sure that Jason Lenz had the advantage. Jack Jordan, unfortunately, not quite as fast as Matthew in this one. What a great job by the USA, also by New Zealand, but unfortunately New Zealand knocked out in this one as we take a look back here.
They do. We are going to see the United States in the final with a time of 56.03. It was corrected down a little bit. You know what? Interestingly, had they gone up against Canada in the semi-final, Canada would have been there. It's only the third fastest time from the semi-finalists today, but it doesn't matter. It's enough to put them into the final.
Exactly.
And the shock is that the favorites, one of the favorites, New Zealand, are going home.
So there's going to be no revenge for New Zealand against Australia today. It's going to be about how well America, the United States, can do against Australia.
Look at those blows.
Yeah, and absolutely fantastic. There you can see Jack Jordan working his magic on the block. Just wasn't quite fast enough. He got through, and then they started working the single buck. By then, halfway through the single buck, they were already on the standing block for the United States. There's Jason Lenz just putting everything he's got into it. The huge man, long arms, long legs, power non-stop. And here, the last couple of drivers, boy, it was pretty close right up until the last hit there. And then the United States with a great job.
We're seeing the fans here trying to drive their teams onwards. Just give that little extra bit of power. It is a respectful round of applause, though, at the end for the New Zealand fans because their boys have gone home. Wow, I didn't see that coming, Troy.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it coming either, quite honestly, but looking at the four teams that made it into that semifinal, you could flip a coin, and it's anybody's guess who's going to beat the next team on stage. I mean, quite honestly, if it was America and Canada in that semifinal, it could have been Canada going into the final because both of these teams were so incredibly strong today. And we saw as these teams progressed into the next rounds, they got faster and faster. The adrenaline started pumping. They started taking that adrenaline and that effort that they put into it and really getting rid of the strategic play and moving on to the really hardcore play. And right now I have in my hands the cards for America and Australia, who will be battling it out. But before that, let's take a look at some split screen action.
Let's do just that. We can split the screen here and we can see the two teams going up live against one another. Here we go. Australia are obviously in the green on the left and the USA on the right. Similar
Let's
start.
call this a preview of the final.
Different techniques
so we
there,
only have
you see.
two more heats in front of us.
Interestingly, but look at the speed.
The heat
there.
for the bronze medal
on the underhand shot.
and the heat for gold.
I mean, Braden Myers is so quick. He was over, if we compare the times on the underhand chop, he was over faster than Matt Kogar. He got through it a little bit faster than Matt Kogar, but just a smidge, like 4 strokes. And then we see Jason Lenz is so strong on that single buck, and there was an option there for him to catch up, and he did do a great job. And then heading over to Nate Hodges against Glenn Gillum. I mean, I don't know if I would want to go up against Glenn Gillum. He's a big man with a lot of power, great accuracy. Nate Hodges really working that axe beautifully on the block on the other side there.
You can already see the Australians there celebrating. That shows the 5 seconds or so difference and how much faster they were than the United States. The United States put in a time of 56.03 in the semi, which, as I said, actually, had they gone up against Canada, wouldn't have been fast enough. So commiserations for Canada there. Put in a really good time of 55.
55.60 for Canada. So, I mean, geez, that's really close between those two teams on either side of the 49th parallel. But you know what? it is the way it is. It's the luck of the draw sometimes, and you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, as we say in ice hockey, and that works also in STIHL Timbersports.
So you might have seen a lot of the wood being battered all over the stage today. Yes. We'd like to remind you of the huge effort that we put into making sure that this sport is as sustainable as it can be.
We as STIHL Timbersports pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. After all our STIHL competitions, all the spent wood is collected and recycled right down to the wood chips and sawdust, which, for example, is converted into renewable energy in the form of wood pellets for biomass.
Back in the studio. We're welcome back. I was told that we were going to go to a commercial break, but we're back.
Surprise!
We don't need a break. We don't need a break. We are quite happy to carry on. We're here in Gothenburg. For those of you tuning in, where the heck have you been?
I know, you missed all the fun.
We've been here for a couple of hours, and we are through to the final stage. We have seen the team list whittled down from 20 to 2. Those are the two semi-finals there, and the winners get slotted into that final there, Australia versus the United States. But, of course, here in Timbersports, no one goes home empty-handed. There is a so-called small final, the third-place playoff, and this will be played off today against Canada and New Zealand. It will be very interesting to see whether the Canadians and the New Zealanders can draw on that, remaining little bit of energy, because
sure,
after the disappointment of not making the final, can you go one more time?
Yeah, timing-wise, if we're looking at the way that the Canadians have been performing all day long today, they are slightly faster than New Zealand, so that's going to be going through their mind, and they want to have the bronze medal. Let's face it, they want to go home with a little bit of hardware on their chest, so they're going to be working hard for it in this small final coming up.
Talking of hardware, check this out.
In our STIHL Timbersports series, we use the MS661. To gain maximum power and sustainability, we've now developed this recent fuel called the Motomix Eco. This is a special fuel that is user and environmentally friendly. Motomix Eco contains a 10% share from raw materials developed from renewable sources. This leads to lower CO2 emissions compared to other special fuels.
Ich habe den neuen Kraftstoff STIHL Motomix Eco in der Disziplin Stockstar mit unseren Athleten ausgiebig getestet und wir haben dabei festgestellt, dass die Ergebnisse im gleichen Leistungsbereich liegen wie mit unserem herkömmlichen Kraftstoff, mit dem großen Vorteil, dass wir einen Kraftstoff haben, der die gleiche Performance hat und dabei deutlich weniger Emissionen erzeugt.
Welcome back here in the studio just outside the Partille Arena in Gothenburg, Sweden. Thanks to Spike and Jörg for the presentation of some of those STIHL products. Remember, this is all about STIHL Timbersports and the incredible support that the company of STIHL puts into this remarkable sport. We are ready for the small final, the third place playoff. We're going to see Canada go up against New Zealand. They must be absolutely exhausted here. The breaks get shorter and the expectations get higher. It's going to be Heat 15, the second last heat of the day, Canada versus New Zealand.
And there you see just previously the tail of the tape, 55 and change for Canada, 10003 for New Zealand. As the day goes on, and that's not much of a difference between the two teams, but it's an advantage for Canada as they get ready to rock and roll here. So this is about third place on the podium, the bronze medal here for the Team World Championships at the STIHL Timbersports World Championships 2022 in Gothenburg, Sweden. Last minute preparations, and by this point in the game, these guys won't be nervous. They'll be relaxed, they'll be in the zone, they won't hear anything that's going on around them, they'll be paying attention to what they need to do on stage and making sure that they're absolutely focused on the task at hand.
It's that challenge of shaking off the disappointment of just a few moments ago and going one final time. Who will finish third in the Team World Championships this year? It's going to be Canada in the reds versus New Zealand in the black. One last time, boys.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nick Russell and Adam Lowe starting things off, on stocks off for both of these teams as they get those first cookies done. Jack Jordan now working underhand chop as we look at Marcel Dupuis on the underhand chop for the Canadian side. Jack moving over to the other side, about one stroke ahead of Marcel Dupuis. Could be a good battle between both of these teams as they come down to the wire here. And it's Jack Jordan getting through there before Marcel Dupuis. Marcel a couple of strokes behind, moving over to Jeff Larkin now on single buck. And it looks like Nathan McDonald on single buck for New Zealand, but New Zealand now with the advantage. Ben Cumberland starts on his block but gets stuck a little bit. Shane moving over to the other side. Boy, these are some big drivers going in for both of these guys. Cumberland has an opportunity now to hear and to play catch-up. Will he be able to do it? Nope, not this time. It's going to be New Zealand. And look at the time for New Zealand, 54.88. And Canada still under a minute and 59.30.
Brilliant stuff.
Wow, brilliant for both of these teams. And that just tells you where they're at skill level-wise. They improved on their times at every stage of the game today. Incredible.
Huge cheers from the New Zealand fans here. They can see themselves on the Jumbotron and they know that their team finished third here at the World Championships. An absolutely massive performance by New Zealand. They just missed out in the semis, but they proved again with a cracking time of 54.60 here in the third place playoff against Canada that they are no mugs. Neither are your home country, Canada, though. 58.97.
Yeah,
I mean, that
fantastic.
would have won. There are some world championships that time would have won.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
Great
and
performance.
We also should mention that Jeff Larkin is a late replacement for Nathan Cumberland. I mentioned this earlier on, but it's also his first time on this team and at the World. So
and the winner
really
is
well.
Team New Zealand.
There is the confirmation. The official times 54.6 for New Zealand, 4.37 seconds slower the Canadians. Right, we've got a chance to see some slow-mos here set up by our team. Look at those beautiful shots by the camera team. And look at the smoothness through that cookie there.
So, I mean, so solid. And interestingly here, we didn't see Jason Wynyard competing in this small final. And I think probably what's happened there is that they just said, come on, it's for the bronze. We don't need to stress you out or stress your body. You're going to be competing in the Worlds tomorrow in the individual disciplines. So save yourself and make sure that you can walk home with your 10th World Championship title, but he's going to have his work cut out for him tomorrow. And meanwhile, New Zealand has done a fantastic job to get the bronze medal here in Gothenburg at the Team World Championships on day one of our competition event weekend. And you can see here just some great action there. I believe that was Nate McDonald on the single buck. And those the final driver from Shane Jordan, and Ben Cumberland just doing everything he could to try and catch up. But Shane Jordan and New Zealand just had a better lead going into this final here. So great job.
Okay, we are going to go over to Florty in the arena. He's got the New Zealand team with him.
Well, Matt and Troy, I'm standing to the first medal winners here at the STIHL Timbersports Teams World Championship 2022. Give it up for New Zealand! I can see you guys smiling, but you don't seem to be completely happy.
Yeah, mate, it hurts a bit not making that final, but yeah, over the moon to get come away with third place, yeah.
Yeah, and bronze is nice, isn't it?
What was that, sorry?
Bronze seems nice.
Oh, definitely.
So what are you guys going to be up to today after this?
I guess we'll have a few drinks with the rest of the teams and, yeah, celebrate the night.
Yeah, so we're going to celebrate the bronze medal winners here in Gothenburg. Ladies and gentlemen, the team of New Zealand. Troy, Matt.
Great job.
Back to you.
Great job, Florty. Great job, New Zealand. Well done to all of you. Thank you to your fans as well. We hope that you enjoy the rest of the evening. I don't know what's in that cup, but
the guys
it's
almost
certainly...
were doing a haka up there. I would love to see that from Team New Zealand one time. I just love that. It's so awesome when they can pull that together.
If you look closely on that disc that the cameraman is currently zooming out from, that is what it's all about. That is the Team World Championship trophy. If you'd look closely, you would have seen the names New Zealand and Australia popping up pretty regularly. New Zealand won't be on there again this year, but Australia could be added to it again. But we may even get a brand new name on there, because the United States, after that shock semi-final win, have the chance to pull off the performance of a lifetime here in the 2022 STIHL Timbersports final here in Gothenburg. The team event, it is Australia versus the United States.
So I have a guess here.
Oh, do we have another premonition coming?
We're not going to go premonition, but I have a guess here. I'm not gonna, you know, blow the doors off the car or anything like that. But I have a guess here, and my guess is that the United States has been secretly playing possum on us for the last few rounds, knowing that they could kind of work their way up until this situation, and now they're going to show their real teeth, interestingly enough. We'll see, because what we've seen from the United States today is not gradual progression. They've been stepping it up every single time they've been on stage.
It's true.
And there's that trophy that you were talking about. Absolutely fantastic, and there's already 2 spots in 23 and 24 ready to be filled.
I'll tell you one thing, you'd need to be a fit athlete even to lift that thing off pedestal there. It looks like an absolute monster of a trophy.
Warm up your saw.
These are the STIHL Timbersports Team World Championship finals here. This is the big one, everybody. It's the United States on the right-hand side in red and white going up against the pre-tournament favourites, Australia. Who will it be taking home the big prize?
Athletes ready.
Here we go. Finals up.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, great grab by the United States. Australia right in there. Matt Slingerland, good cut, moves it over now to Matthew Kogar for the USA, and that's going on to Braden Meyer for Australia. Braden Meyer moving over to the second side of his block, but he's only 2 strokes ahead of Matt Kogar this time around, so Matt Kogar keeping with him as well as he can. Matt Kogar coming close to finishing it is about 4 strokes off now.
Still close though.
Moving over to Jason Lenz on the single buck. It's going to be not Lorenzo Toole, excuse me. It's going to be Brad DeLosa on single buck. He's done it clean and neat. And now over to Glenn Gillum on the standing block chop, going up against Nate Hodges on that standing block chop. Hodges got stuck big time as he tried to come around fast. Glenn Gillum working the second side, and Hodges is going to try and catch him. Will he be able to do it? I don't think so. It's Australia with a time of 53:24, and Australia repeats for a 3rd time in a row as the Team World Champions. Nate Hodges doing a fantastic job, but he really got stuck there. Last few drivers for him. He has burnt. The teams have put everything out on the stage there. A fantastic battle right up until the standing block chop. And disappointment on the faces of the American team, but they can be proud of how well they did today with a silver medal. And you can see that there is progression every time these teams get up on stage. In particular, the Americans have been really exploding in the last few years.
They've had a fantastic day. They've had a great year as well, but it wasn't quite enough. Team USA sadly will have to put up with the silver medal yet again. They've been there a couple of times beforehand, as have Australia in their current position. You are looking at the team members of the STIHL Timbersports 2022 Team World Champions. If the confirmation comes from the referee, Australia will be the champions for 2022.
Lawrence O'Toole comes up on stage to join his teammates for the call from Rich
And the winner is Team Australia.
There it is. Australia with an extraordinary time of 52:96 are crowned the STIHL Timbersports team world champions for 2022, and wow, didn't they deserve it.
And they got faster once again.
Unbelievable time, 52 seconds. That every time that they've clocked up today was under 60 seconds. That is extraordinary sportspersonship.
Yeah.
And we saw skill, we saw stamina, we saw drive and determination. Worthy winners, right?
Absolutely fantastic job. A little bit of a delay right there on that stock saw, which was a bit strange, but yeah, okay, he had a good grab getting it up there, and he has a different style of pulling it up. He grabs the handle first, then gets his finger on the trigger, so that may be where the delay came from. On the underhand chop, I mean, really, there's just nobody that's much better than Braden Meyer on underhand chop, and he moved over to the other side really quickly. But to be honest with you, Matt Kogar was right there with him, 2-3 strokes behind maximum as they moved over to the other side, and then Matthew Kogar, like many of the other athletes, struggled to get through that second side as he got deeper in there, and it just had a little bit of a sticky time, but he did get through there nice and clean and sent it over to the single buck, and a really good effort by the Americans to make sure they were in the mix the whole way. Jason Lenz doing a great job for them on the single buck, but you know, he had Brad DeLosa on the other side going against him, and Brad DeLosa is an absolute legend with that particular discipline. And of course, Glenn Gillum, what a monster this guy is. Look at that final driver, and he took a deep breath and said, Mama, thank goodness this is done for. I don't think I could do it one more time today.
He almost doesn't strike the wood, he just dismisses it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
it's like
dismantles
it's just in his way. Look at it, it's just get out of here. I'm in charge here. You're out of here.
Mine.
Look at that.
Great job. Absolutely fantastic.
Great job. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And we've even seen a smile and a celebration from the Australians. That's the first time they saved it for the final.
They did save it for the final, absolutely. But you could see it ramping up. Each time there was a little bit more of a celebration. So the Chopperoos have done it again.
Brad DeLosa there with a little wiggle of the finger confirming, you know what? I don't know if you're watching back home, but we won it. The Chopperoos are going to bring it home.
Number 1 3 times in a row. Unbelievable. That is a fantastic and consistent performance from the Australians. Very well done.
That is dominant woodmanship, definitely.
Yes, for sure.
We can see the confirmation here on the graphic that indeed Australia were the team that made it out of the final, beating United States after New Zealand had won against Canada in the small final. Australia, wowzers. We're running out of space on that trophy to put the word Australia on there, but at least the engravers know how to spell the name of the winners, right?
Copy and paste.
Exactly. Oh, wowzers. Okay. We get the opportunity here to see the final results. The top 12. France finished in 12th place. Just beaten slightly by Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, and Switzerland. Great Britain, my home country. Congratulations, boys, and well done to Bill and his family watching at home. A very proud 7th place there. The home country, Sweden, also with a very respectable 6th place. And then we got into the really fast times. Poland just picked
Canada
by Canada in 4th place. New Zealand won the small final, taking home the bronze medal, and United States will have to put up with the silver medal once more because they were beaten by the 2022 champions, Australia. Here we see the remaining teams that some of whom went out this morning in the qualifiers. From 20th to 13th place, Denmark, the Netherlands, Ireland in 18th, Belgium 17th, Hungary, Norway, Italy, and Romania make up the field. Congratulations to all of the performers here. We had 20 competing teams, over 100 athletes here, several thousand competitors, an enormous production team of I don't know how many people. This has been such a wonderful couple of days. We're not finished. We've got
yet.
The individuals coming up tomorrow, of course, and some of the performers that we saw here in the teams will also be there tomorrow.
Many of the team captains were also going to be performing in the individual contest tomorrow for the World Championships on the individual side. And before we move on, we're going to take a look at the split screen here so you can see those two teams battling one more time together.
We can go over to the arena for one final time to Florty, who has got the winners and the shakers. Congratulations to all of the competitors. It's over to you, Florty.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are ready for the prize-giving ceremony. We're going to start with the bronze medalists. Please put your hands together for the team of New Zealand. The silver medalists, the team of the United States of America, and racing up front, the old and new STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Team World Champions from down under, the team of Australia. Here they are again, the top three teams of the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Team World Championships here in Gothenburg 2022. One more time, give them all a big hand. Absolutely fantastic performances by all three teams, putting them right on top. And here are the podiums. As we start with the bronze medal winners. Jason Wynyard, Shane Jordan, Nathan McDonald, Adam Lowe, Jack Jordan, and Morgan Bolstad. The bronze medalists, New Zealand. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to award the bronze medals, General Manager of STIHL Sweden, Mr. Kjell Svensson. So Mr. Kjell Svensson is handing over the last bronze medal. Let's hear it one more time for New Zealand, our bronze medalist here at the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Team World Championship 2022. As we proceed to the silver medalists, Matthew Kogar, Matt Slingerland, Jason Lenz, and Nate Hodges, United States of America! And to hand over the silver medals, please welcome Ingrid Jägerling, Executive Board Member from STIHL. So there goes the last silver medal handed over by Ingrid Jägerling, Executive Board Member from STIHL. Make some noise for Team United States of America, the silver medalists! And now Partille Arena, Gothenburg. Time to get loud for the old and new champions. give it up for Brad DeLosa, Jamie Head, Lawrence O'Toole, Braden Meyer, Glenn Gillam, and Curtis Bennett, the team of Australia! And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jörg Mitzke, Sales Director, Liebherr, Sweden, to hand over the precious gold medals. And you can see how much this is worth by the reaction of the athletes. How good were they today? Really getting it down when it counted. Showing us all their strength, not only in the quarters and the semi-finals, but with an absolutely impressive win in the gold medal heats. Sensational team, sensational performance, and worthy winners of the gold medal here at Partille Arena in Gothenburg, Sweden. One more medal to be handed over by Jörg Mitzke. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give it up for Australia! They have got their medals. But there's one more thing we're waiting for. And you can see it while they are kissing the medals. I would like to ask Norbert Pick, Executive Board Member of STIHL, to come out. Because here comes the trophy! Norbert Pick handing over the trophy to the winners. Brad DeLosa, Jamie Head, Lawrence O'Toole, Braden Meyer, Glenn Gillam, and Curtis Bennett. Only one more thing missing. As we're celebrating with champagne. So here we have the top three teams. New Zealand claiming bronze, USA taking home silver, and the old and new champions, now 7 times gold medal winners, the team of Australia. And of course we're going to go and get an interview from the winners for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to return tomorrow for the individual world championships. It's not over yet. What a great weekend we can expect. And we're getting ready for the winners interview with the team of Australia, guys. Looks like you've already spilled some champagne, but it seemed like you were unbreakable and unbeatable today. Was that just my feeling, or did you have the same feeling?
Certainly had that same feeling.
So what made the big difference? I mean, you've been a 3 times in a row champion, 7 times altogether. What is the secret of Team Australia?
Yeah, no, great secret. We're just, a really tight team and great depth of talent. Back in Australia, we've got some really good guys and shows on the stage here tonight. It was a great victory and, something we're very proud of.
So what about the team spirits? I mean, I saw you guys grab the champagne and you were very willing to share. Is that the team spirit you have in Australia?
Yeah, we good team camaraderie and we always look after each other and got each other's backs and just a very consistent team and we know our job. So when we do have a win, we like to celebrate and celebrate as a team and for our country.
Yeah, you were absolutely fabulous. Tremendous show, guys. Thanks so much. Matt and Troy, I like to share my pleasure and this champagne with you, so it's back in the studio. Cheers.
Cheers is absolutely right. Thank you so much, Florty. Great job, sir, and well done. One final time to Australia. What a performance they put on today. It really was
They're ironclad, those boys from down under. It's fantastic. The Chopperoos have done it one more time. 7-time world champions in the team. Unbelievable.
7-time team world champions. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to all 20 teams that competed today. We've seen some absolutely fantastic STIHL Timbersports.
Yes,
but
we
as
have.
Florty mentioned, the weekend is not over, not by a long shot.
No.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock Central European time on all of the international streams. Please be here for the World Championships. Individuals will be here. We will see you then. Have a wonderful evening from all of us here in Gothenburg. Take care of yourselves.
Ciao, everybody.